Hey, what up, capers? Hey. Happy Tuesday, even though it might not be Tuesday, but hey, happy Tuesday.
You know, so it's always Tuesday.
We have a 1 in 7 chance that they're listening to this on a Tuesday, but that's cool.
That's great ratio.
Only 1 in 7? Where do you come up with that odds?
Because there's 7 days of the week, and you listen to a 1 day of the week.
I don't
so
think
it's
about math like that.
1 in
okay?
7 odds that it's
Wait, you don't think...
Chad, what was your SAT scores?
It was high. We're here again at Black Hat Comics in Burbank. Third show.
Burbank. Yep.
Third show now.
Yes,
beautiful Burbank, not downtown Burbank, but
close.
Standard
close.
Burbank.
Standard Burbank.
Once again, 3005 Magnolia Boulevard. That is the address for this wonderful shop.
They just celebrated their first anniversary.
Yeah. So if you missed it, oh no.
Thanks, Chris.
It's your own damn fault already.
It's your own damn fault. You missed it.
You missed it. But you can still come to the store regardless. So.
Store's still open.
Hey,
definitely come
Resident Movie Nerd. Resident Movie Nerd.
Yeah.
Who's our caper of the week?
Our caper of the week is Darth Lexi. She's
Darth
a
Lexi.
cosplayer.
Lexi.
And I believe the Collector and the Thought Junkie met her at a con recently, right?
We did, yeah. Darth Lexi, great cosplayer. Martin the Thought Junkie and I met her at Long Beach Comic Con, and yeah, no, she was great. We met a few cosplayers there, and I think we just got a great experience meeting her and talking to her about how she cosplays and what costume she likes to wear and what character she's into.
Yeah,
and, she was great.
That was really cool. I hadn't been in a convention for a long time, and so she really embodies like what youth is, all the costumes that she has. Like, she has that Spider-Man costume where she's like ripped up like she's just been in a fight.
Deadpool.
That's really cool. That's like, as a kid, that's what I wanted to do. So it's really great, as an adult, to look back and see like what a cosplay artist is bringing back. It's like bringing that youth out of me, like watching her. So that's
and if you remember, cool. I bought my signed photo of her as she was Deadpool.
Right.
That was freaking cool.
That was such a cool picture.
That was a cool photo. Yeah.
All right.
She's badass. So
nice.
Props to Darth Lexi.
Yeah. Hey, Darth Lexi in the house.
Thanks for
supporting us.
Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for following us.
Hey, check her out.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for doing what you do. And if you have any costumes in the future or in the past for any of the movies we've done episodes for, we'd love to check them out.
We'd love to get a shout out to us with the costumes too, if you can. We would love to hear your thoughts on any of our podcasts and talk more. So
I love it. Nice.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
What's next?
Actually, we have the beer of the week, which is very themed. But if you haven't heard, which this is my first time seeing it too and tasting it too, it's the BroadAcres. It's a sour.
You know what that sounds like? An old person's home.
BroadAcres.
I don't.
Well, the fact it's a skull in the BroadAcres just got really dark.
This is where people are gonna die.
No, but what's Phantom Carriage? It says Phantom Carriage.
Yeah. The brewery is Phantom Carriage Brewery.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, very Halloween.
Actually, it's a sour. So if you're a big fan of sour whites, it actually is pretty intense. It's like.
It's got a good flavor.
Yeah, no, I took a sip. It's very tangy. It kind of like tingles your tongue.
It's almost kind of like an appley, like a sour apple kind of flavor to it. Yeah.
Right. I don't like sours at all, but like this makes me feel like if I was a sour person, I would like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like I understand like there's so many tones to this.
Yeah.
And we picked this as a beer.
Yeah.
And the theme pretty much is a big skull in the front.
Right.
And there's a skull in the front of our hero that we'll be watching today, the Punisher.
Correct.
Even though not the most known character, but one of the most iconic images in comic books is that skull, right?
Yes.
Yes, there's a Superman chest, there's a bat symbol, but like this...
He's a pretty known character, though. He's pretty known. Yeah, he's pretty known.
He has a show on Netflix, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Superman, but...
No, he's not Superman, but he's in the Marvel universe, he's pretty well known.
Yeah.
He's one of the bigger characters. But I get why you would say that, because you don't think of Punisher, usually you think of Spider-Man, you think of Hulk, you think of the Avengers. So I get it. But no, for sure. Yeah, the skulls are cool.
Nice.
Who chose that beer this week? That was
me.
Good choice. Good choice. I love the.
Martin always tries to find a connection in there.
Always fun. It's great. I love that he does that. Yeah.
Okay, so we got what'd you bring for us today, Collector?
So
Collector.
So I don't have what I really wanted to bring, unfortunately, because it's on the way to me in the mail. But I have a great side option, or second option, actually, I should say second, because there's a meaning behind the term second there.
Oh, nice. Do you need some light?
No, I think you guys will be able to see it. So what the
Whoa, don't be trying to peek
the resident movie nerd's getting a little happy here.
I'm just trying to take a peek.
So what I have here is if you want to put a little light on it. So I have Amazing Spider-Man 135.
That is why is it that the Amazing Spider-Man logo on the comics is the most? It pops out the most out of any comic you ever brought in.
Well, I think he's one of the first characters Stan created.
Wait, I'm confused. So is this not connected to the Punisher? Oh no, the Punisher is in it. I don't know. It's Spider-Man. I'm confused. I don't know all these crossovers.
So Amazing Spider-Man 135. I think it came out in '74, I believe, late '74, and this is the second ever appearance of the Punisher.
Wow.
And, you got Tarantula in there, you got J. Jonah Jameson, Mary Jane. It's got I can't remember who that guy is, but it's got a great cast of characters. And, in the early phase, the Punisher really wasn't a hero yet. He was more of a villain against Spider-Man. So he came into his own as, I think you could say, more of an anti-hero eventually.
I mean,
he's a hero, though. He's someone who, if you get in his way, he won't take any shit from you.
He'll kill you.
He will literally fucking kill you. But he's a cool character. You can see what he looks like here. He's got very bushy eyebrows early on, black hair. He's got the skull already going. He's got a gun. It's all about the guns. He's all about the weaponry. Now, what's interesting about this copy is I've never seen a graded copy of this in 9.8. 9.6s go for about $1,200. And this is a more or less pristine copy that I bought from a comic book store. Not this one, but from another comic book store. And I think I have a good chance to get a 9.8. And this would sell for a fuckload of money if it does. So I'm really excited about this copy. I don't know what it's going to come back when I get it pressed and graded and everything. So it's a great book. I'm looking forward to sending it in. So
What year did this come out? Do you know?
I think it's late '74, I believe. Wow. Yeah.
Nice. And you'll post a picture of this one so people can see the cover?
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. You guys post a picture.
Ready to dive into the Punisher?
Punisher, yes.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's do it.
2000 what?
Do it, guys. Hey,
this is the
clap it up for all of this.
What year is this?
Black Cat Comics, Dark Lexi,
Black Cat
Casey Free.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Playing the Punisher from 2004, released by Lionsgate.
Lionsgate Films.
Actually, this was produced by Artisan Entertainment, and which did a lot. They did a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s, and during production of this, Lionsgate bought Artisan.
Really?
This was the last. This was the last theatrical movie that Artisan made.
So you get the iconic bullet shots into the Marvel logo.
Wait, this is 04, right?
Yes.
Wasn't there a Marvel film post this movie that didn't have that Marvel intro that we just watched recently?
Not sure.
Well, it was Blade.
Blade didn't have that intro.
I mean, that came.
Blade was 6 years before this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blade was 1998. So.
Yeah, it probably didn't have. I don't believe it had that logo.
So yeah, this movie. I honestly don't remember if I've ever seen this movie before. I may have watched it around 2004, 2005 when it came out, but this was just not a movie.
Does anyone know how many Punisher films have been made?
2.
6.
2.
3.
No, 3. No, you're right. 3. I forgot about the 80s one. Yeah, there was the
that's right.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yep, in 1989, and then there was this in 2004, and then Punisher.
I'll be honest, I've never seen the 1989 one, but I'd be curious to see how bad it was.
I saw it once a long time ago. I can't.
We could.
We can.
So Tampa, Florida. This was actually all shot in Tampa, Florida.
The whole production.
The director just wanted to shoot there. The look of the city. Yeah, you don't get a lot of movies that shoot in Tampa, so that's kind of unique.
We're opening with this yellow Corvette, and I love that Corvette.
Yeah, I love
Corvette. What is that?
Yeah.
What
is that Corvette?
That looks like that is probably the C5 generation, which would have been 2005 and up. That actually looks a little newer to me. It might have been the C6. It might have been the C5, which was 2004 to 1999. I don't know why I went backwards like that, but I think that was the generation after. I love Corvettes. My dad has one. I'm a huge Corvette fan. Anyway, really quick, do want to just point out Amazing Spider-Man 129, first ever appearance of Punisher. Huge key book, goes for a lot of money. I'm happy to own one. And big Bronze Age key book from 1974. So.
What made you buy that book?
What's up?
What made you buy that book?
It's just a big key book, and I came across one for the right price in the collection, and or I came across a collection of Amazing Spider-Man, and it was in it, and I got a great grade on it, so I'm gonna make some money. It's a fun book.
Yeah.
So we got Thomas Jane as before he becomes the Punisher in the beginning of the movie. Right now,
This is what he went on to do after this movie is what I was kind of familiar, with him from. It was that HBO series Hung.
Yeah, that's what I was.
That's right.
Yeah.
You didn't see Deep Blue Sea?
I saw Deep Blue Sea.
So,
love that movie.
Yeah.
But Hung is after this, right?
Yes,
Hung is definitely way after this.
Hung was 2009.
Yeah. Which that was a great show. I loved him. I loved him in Hung.
Yeah,
he was funny.
Yeah, HBO show.
Yeah, I felt like it was right up there with
actually the other guy he's talking to in this scene was in the show as well.
In Hung.
Yeah, he played wasn't he the new husband of his ex-wife or something? I don't know.
And
that actor.
So I was behind him in a line at Jersey Mike's Subs about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Ironically, I wanted to say hi to him because I loved him in the Ocean movies. He was actually one of the characters. in the Ocean
right.
But he was with family. I didn't want to bother him. And here in Hollywood, I think famous people tend to get bothered occasionally, and it's not my style, so I didn't want to bother him.
Mine either.
Right.
But I would love to have talked to him and just said, I love you, I think you're great in movies.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you, man. You're great. Brotherly love. I love you.
This is starting out like literally a 90s film right now
that
we're watching. I feel like I'm watching Face Off.
Right now we see Thomas Jane. He's part of a drug deal, and the FBI just raised this. I mean, I'm sorry, not a drug deal, a weapons deal. They're selling guns.
Correct.
Oh, that actor that Ryan was just talking about, was in Hung and Ocean's 11 movies. Eddie Jemison.
Eddie Jemison, yeah.
Eddie Jemison.
No, he's a great actor. You don't see him, I feel like, in too much, but he's a really good actor. I like him a lot.
But so when did that shift happen? Like, we don't see movies. I don't think we see movies like this anymore. That start off with this kind of like it's a little cheesy. It doesn't feel cheesy. The music doesn't feel cheesy.
The whole movie's a little cheesy. So.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's not. I mean, it's not exactly cheesy right now. Because this is actually supposed to be a serious drug deal. He just got shot.
You want to know something why it might resemble other movies from the 90s, which was, this wasn't that long after the 90s. The director of this movie was a screenwriter on movies such as Armageddon, The Rock, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Jumanji, some of the biggest movies of the 90s.
Yeah.
So he was...
that makes sense.
He was, kind of used to that kind of style.
Yeah. And so we have our protagonist that just got supposedly killed.
Well, yes. It's a sting operation, but... So interestingly, the guy who's dead right now, Bobby Saint, Howard Saint's son, who we're going to meet Howard later, it's the same. I'm sure I don't mean to feed into someone, but I happen to know this. It's the same actor who plays both twin brothers in the movie. So, but they kill him early on.
Is he faking his? So he's faking his death to get out from under his deep cover or something right now. That's
Thomas Jane
staging it.
He's undercover. Yeah, Thomas Jane's an undercover cop.
So
correct.
I mean, I'm sorry, Frank Castle.
This movie was made for a pretty low budget. It was only about $35 million budget. The director wanted more. He wanted like $64 million, but he got that low budget. And this movie only opened to about $13 million. Only ended up grossing about a little over $50 million worldwide.
That's not great.
Which is not great. There was a little over 50 or 60 million worldwide.
Wow.
So do you know? It actually opened in April 2004. Do you know what movie this opened against? And it made half as much.
Give me a hint.
It was a part 2 to a movie that came out only about. The first part only came out about 6 months beforehand. April 2004.
I don't know.
Okay, it was Kill Bill Volume 2. This
okay.
Kill Bill Volume 2. And Kill Bill Volume 2 won the weekend. So this movie did not gross a lot of money. So do you know if you look at the box office of every movie made from a Marvel property, theatrical movie, there are 53. Do you know where this ranks?
This one?
53.
It's 49.
That's 49. Yeah, Howard the Duck's way down there.
Okay. Yes. After is Howard the Duck, Elektra, and Punisher Warzone.
Warzone was worse.
Warzone only made $10 million. So
I was more excited about Warzone.
Very excited.
Than this one.
Successful.
I remember Warzone. I think Warzone it comes off a little more serious. He comes off a little more like a Punisher.
Felt like a horror.
But
looked like a horror.
It was the worst movie.
So, I think but Punisher Warzone was a complete reboot. It was not.
It was.
Yeah, no, it was a complete reboot.
So what we're watching right now is just to go back in the movie really quick is the Saints, who are the main antagonists of the movie, who are actually not real comic book characters. They were based off a comic book family called the Nucci's, an Italian mobster family, and that was very anti to the Punisher. And I think they more or less kind of, got them correctly, and even though they weren't the main character. And there might have been a reason for that. Maybe they didn't have the rights to... I have no idea.
Yeah.
Why they wouldn't just do the actual comic book family. But, so one of the brothers is dead, and we're going to learn soon from Howard Saint when he finds out who did it, and that's where hell starts to get paid. So,
wow.
Yeah.
This movie is very dark cinematography so far.
Yeah, that opening felt very like noir, huh?
The cinematographer of this is Conrad Hall.
Does he do dark movies?
Who is the son of the famous Conrad L. Hall, who did American Beauty, Road to Perdition, In Cold Blood, Butch Cassidy, and Sundance Kid. He died. He won a posthumous Oscar for Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition had some great
which is some of my favorite cinematography of all time, with Tom Hanks and Paul Newman.
And the score was amazing for that as well.
Tom Newman did the score for that. But the cinematographer of this movie is the son of the Conrad L. Hall. Wow. I think he's Conrad R. Hall. He uses a different middle initial. But it's a very dark movie. I mean, it's dark subject matter, I guess. So it fits.
I went back and watched this movie, and I'm probably gonna thought junkie here. I'm probably gonna talk about this throughout the film, but gun violence is something that's like haunted me forever in my life. So I kind of don't gravitate towards gun violence. So it's gonna be tough for me to watch this. I remember as a kid watching just the family. Watching what happens to his family here, like, tore my heart to pieces.
It was a tough scene coming up. I agree. It was hard. It was hard.
And I probably haven't watched this movie because of that since then. So going back to revisit this, especially in the time that we live in now, 2018, it's going to be a little tough for me.
Well, I think with Frank Castle's character, you really need to embody the true loss that he experiences to become the Punisher. It had to feel intense in that scene, and it really does. Like, they feel helpless for the most part. Like, there's a little fight back, but they feel pretty helpless, and it sucks. It honestly sucks watching it. I feel bad.
Well, the thing is, it definitely feels helpless because there's like so many people that are getting killed. There's no way you could even protect every one of them. When he sees his mom go down, which you'll see.
We have John Travolta now into the movie.
John Travolta as Howard Saint.
John Travolta actually, he agreed to let Thomas Jane get top billing for this because he agreed. Because we talked about that during some of the other movies, like Batman and things, where you see like Jack Nicholson gets billing over Michael Keaton playing Batman. Right. Obviously, he was the bigger star.
Brando, and
Superman.
Gene Hackman.
Right, exactly. But here, obviously, John Travolta was a bigger name than Thomas Jane.
Easily.
But Travolta actually nicely agreed that the guy playing the lead character should get the top billing. So,
as I agree too, but egos.
Was it not? When did they had a loss in the family? John Travolta and Kelly Preston.
I think that was maybe 2008-ish.
I'm not sure.
Was it later on?
It was later on.
Oh, because Kelly's actually been in a movie where it was based off on one in particular. I'm thinking of where their children die in the movie, or at least one of them. I'm just thinking. I wasn't sure if it was after this movie. And since he lost a son in this movie, you have to think about that, because that's tough to experience that in a this movie when it's happened to you in real life. But
this woman looks
it happened after.
This woman looks like Judy Greer in the dark.
Oh, Logan. Yeah,
not Judy Greer. Not Judy Greer.
So this girl was actually in the Super Mario Brothers movie back.
That's right. She's the princess.
She's princess. Yeah.
Princess
Which is very cool. You don't see her in a lot of stuff, I feel like, nowadays. I can't remember her.
No, unfortunately, that movie doesn't qualify for a podcast, right? Because it's based on a video game, not a comic book.
Even though it says Super at the beginning of it.
It does say Super.
It does say Super, though.
I love that movie.
It is a great movie. It's a cult classic.
Yeah,
I don't think it's on the box
office,
but it's a fun movie.
So actually, I was mistaken. The cinematographer's middle initial is Conrad W. Hall, and he also shot like Panic Room and Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, he shot Panic Room.
Things,
and I wonder, he shot some of two of the biggest anxiety and gut wrenching films in my life.
David Fincher.
Loved Olympus Has Fallen. That's a great movie.
Yep.
So
the thing is, one of the problems with the Punisher with bringing him to the screen, because he's very violent in the comic books.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this movie, yes, he is violent, but he is not as violent. Especially if you watch the Netflix Punisher, you'll notice that's even more violent.
I feel like they didn't really do a lot of killing in this, like in general.
This?
You know,
oh yeah, no,
down the whole
I
beach.
I think the body count was
No,
45.
for
Punisher himself.
I mean, towards the end he does, but I agree with Chris. He's not very ruthless in. Well,
He's very vengeful.
I don't know. There's something about him in this movie where it doesn't come off like the Punisher that I know of, like you were talking about.
Well, I think that's one of the problems of the movie, because they still wanted to make him the likable good guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, there'll be a scene coming up where he tortures a guy, or fake tortures a guy.
Right.
But in the real comic book guy, I think he would have really been tortured.
He would have been tortured.
Get information.
He's just a tough dude in the comics. You don't. There's not a sentimental side to.
I mean, the thing is,
Frank Castle. Not really.
The sentimental side. I mean, he does want to protect the innocents, but he has no problem hurting or killing the guilty. Or who you feel. Like, there's no hesitation.
Wait, so Ryan, was there a rating system when it came to comics ever?
A rating system?
Like a rating system in terms of
the
comics?
MPAA? Or
Not necessarily MPAA, but like comic books. Like, was there like
comics. There's the comic code from that started in the, I don't know, I think it started in the 60s, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the comics code, which was definitely around during the Punisher
What would it
days.
say? What were the ratings that would be on the front so a parent would know if they go, this has violent content?
It wasn't ratings. It wasn't that there would be a rating if it was a certain, like, it's not like movies, like, rated R, PG. It was that you had to get through them to have the comic be allowed to be made. So approved. So every comic back in the day would have a little CC Comics Code approval on the comic, deeming that it was worthy of being released to the public.
Okay.
Ironically, since you asked that, there's actually 3 Marvel comics that did not make it, and Stan said, screw it, Stan Lee, and said, I'm going to publish these anyway, and that was Amazing Spider-Man 96, 97, and 98.
So 3 Amazing Spider-Mans in a row.
Yeah, and the reason was because I believe
content?
there was there was moral issues in the comic. I think it was drugs, I want to say, and they didn't feel it was they didn't agree with it to be shown to the public. I think it was drugs. That's what I recall. So it was those 3 issues. Yeah.
Are those issues easy to find?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
100%.
So I'm going to jump in real quick. There's something I'm going to start where the Thought Junkie's going to go pick comics, potentially from Black Hat, and do like the social, moral conversation about those. So those are the first 3 comics I'm going to do.
Sounds great.
Okay, so there was really nothing really to prevent a kid from walking into a comic store, opening it, or buying it and seeing really violent images. The mainstream comic publishers, I know now it's different with like graphic novels and stuff. Did they just stay away from really questionable like nudity and you know what I mean? Like
I mean the comics code eventually died out. It doesn't exist anymore, but I'm sure it took a while. I can't remember exactly.
The comics what died out?
The
comic code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
the rating. They that does not exist anymore. But which is why we have comics with nudity and language. But I mean, I'm sorry. What was your question one more time?
Or just like I don't know. Was there? I guess there was not. They just stayed away from that stuff back then.
Yeah, I mean, I think the comics code just forced comics to not put it. You wouldn't really. That's the point. You wouldn't see stuff like that back then. It's only more recently, the last 20, 30 years, maybe, that you'll see.
Yeah, we got the internet now, you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Comic books are tame by comparison.
Yeah, they have to keep up
somehow. It's a drawn image, you know what I mean?
So
I want to say it's ironic that this character dies at a beach.
Actually, it kind of is. So what Martin is alluding to, which I think you'll maybe, if you want to chime in, Chad or Chris, is the character from the Jaws movies.
Oh, it's Roy Scheider, right?
Scheider,
that's what. Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Roy Scheider.
And the Thought Junkie,
Chief Brody, Roy Scheider, yeah.
100% that is kind of ironic that he dies on the beach. So, near the ocean.
Martin, we just watched Jaws 2 recently at your house, and it's amazing. He's in that one. It's the one sequel to Jaws that he made.
So I don't know how far we are. 17 minutes almost moving, and we're pretty close to where we start to see the Punisher come out. I mean, they're at their family sort of reunion at an island, and they think everything is happy-go-lucky as it is right now, and it sort of is, but it's going to change soon. So.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like, Ryan, you said something that struck a chord with me earlier. It's just, you have to watch him go through all of these horrible things to understand the person he becomes. It's like, put yourself in his position. Like, when I saw this as a kid, I thought, oh, cool, this is like, they're getting shot up. Like, this is the action movie that we all wanted, right? But like as an adult now, like looking back on this, it's so tough to watch. But put yourself in that person's position.
And it's nothing new. I mean, it's a very common theme.
That's in a lot of things.
We've seen
somebody's family gets taken
and
out.
they go on revenge.
Oh yeah,
that is not a new theme. So
it's like Kill Bill kind of happened.
Oh yeah.
I know there was a movie Arnold Schwarzenegger, I believe, where he did something like that.
Is that like
collateral
damage? Oh, it's in so many movies.
Yeah, there's been a gazillion.
It's in, what's that Vin Diesel film that came out?
Motivation.
A Man Apart.
Oh, A Man Apart. Yep, that was a very good one too.
It happens a lot.
Gary F. Gray, I think.
But I guess that's the okay. I know in this movie, it's gonna happen, and then the law enforcement and the FBI can't do anything about it, so he takes matters into his own hands. That's what always happens. But I mean, we'll talk more about this. But he's just killing people. I mean, how is that? Batman doesn't really kill people. Superman does it. A lot of these superheroes we've covered so far have codes.
Yeah.
Well, that's just more like
yes, I know.
That's not intent.
Well, think about that too. That's two Punisher films are like the top 5 worst Marvel films ever.
Maybe that's not what people want to see.
Yeah.
Or they didn't do it right.
They also have to be better movies. This movie actually is pretty poorly reviewed. And everything.
It doesn't. The thing is, when you watch it, there'll be these funny scenes, these funny fight scenes, and stuff like that. But it doesn't. I don't feel like this film stays true to the tone.
It doesn't feel genuine. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's something about the tone. I agree.
Once he comes back as the Punisher, I don't see this guy having that much hey, fun time, goofy fights and stuff. I don't see him doing that because he's he lost his family. He's actually trying to kill and get revenge for his family. Yeah. And later on, you'll see some of these scenes that
people want more fun,
playful. Well, yeah, and that's what I think the balance they tried to make it. I believe it's PG-13.
I think Punisher.
I'm pretty sure this is rated R.
If this was rated R, then they did not really encapsulate what the R should have been for the Punisher. They didn't do him justice for an R movie if that is true, because I agree with Chris once again. The tone just feels off. It feels too not happy-go-lucky per se, but you know what I mean. Too just.
Now, have any of you guys watched the Netflix show?
I have. Yes, I have.
I know about
it better. Is the tone better in that?
Oh, it is.
And how is it better in that?
It's a lot more.
And that's starring John Bernthal from The Walking Dead.
Yep.
I haven't seen it.
The tone. We're not going to go through the detail because we don't want to ruin it for you guys.
What the difference
is. Tone is set where it is very R and it's violent, but it's the way you really envision the Punisher to be. So you should definitely watch it.
He's a dark character.
How many seasons have there been? 2.
It's one season.
But
he was in. He was in Daredevil 2. He was in Daredevil's second season, so him.
All I keep hearing.
That's right. They cross over all those shows on Netflix.
All I keep hearing is about that. There's an episode where Punisher's in the Netflix show, Punisher's killing and or trying to kill, and Daredevil's trying to prevent Punisher from killing.
Exactly.
That's all I hear about him in the Daredevil series, and that makes me want to watch it so much. It's just hard to connect to someone who's causing so much pain in a way.
I guess you understand his loss and his anger, his thirst for revenge, but I don't know. It works better sometimes than others.
So going off of that, then I'm looking at John Travolta's character. He just went to a funeral for his son. That we can take what we're judging Punisher's character by and add it to John Travolta's character, and they're the same thing.
Well,
James' character.
The essence of it, yes, but there's differences. There's nuances.
Of course, him being the bad guy, we understand his motivation by doing it. But this is not. This is operation. His son walked into this.
Yeah,
his son walked into an operation. Now, he wasn't even supposed to be there. His son chose to be there. He got killed, and then they're just finding fault. The wife is just finding fault, someone to blame.
Right.
And just because Thomas Jane was a police officer that ran the operation. It's his fault.
He
didn't shoot him. The cops that are around him shot him. So hey, why isn't he taking out those cops?
Yeah, you have to look at things from a really, really, really multiplied perspective to truly understand what the truths are, and that's what you're doing here, and it makes sense. And I look from a production design standpoint. That was my major in film school. It's cool to see all of the bad guys are in all black, and then you cut back to the good guys. They're all in bright colors.
They're partying on the beach.
It's like family reunion, tropical Anguilla. They're in Anguilla.
Anguilla.
I don't know if it was shot in Anguilla, but
no, this is all shot in Tampa, Florida.
Thomas
Thomas Jane was actually first and only choice for this role for this movie. So
wow,
yep,
that's cool. We don't hear that often.
Yeah, no, not really.
Even like the huge films, the big budget films, the tentpole films for studios. There's always multiple people.
Well, that maybe because this was a smaller production and everything.
Yeah.
They didn't have to screen test so many people. You know, and they couldn't afford anybody bigger.
Right.
Roy Scheider looks. Yeah, I almost didn't recognize him in this. He got very short hair. He got a little beard. This was only about a few years before he died, I think. So he was up there in age.
It is crazy to think all these people are going to be dead. Kids too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
God,
you got to be ruthless to kill people like that.
Jesus.
His mom, first one shot.
It's going to be tough to watch this.
Messed up.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
There's no music either. We're just watching this death scene.
Right. And I
it's
know,
just sound effects, gunshots.
I think in a world where school shootings and shootings in general are kind of prevalent in the last 5 years, 10 years, it makes it even a little tougher because you could kind of envision this happening somewhere where innocent people are dying, and it makes it even tougher in my opinion. But
I don't know if they'd film a scene like this now in a movie. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yes and no, it depends. I mean, because
with an innocent crowd of people getting, I don't know. I don't think people want to see that.
Maybe you're
so
right.
much
that's tougher. Yeah. Especially with all the school shootings and stuff like that, you wouldn't want to see this. But
But we want to see a dad and a son go badass dad and a son shoot the bad guys, but we don't want to see reality of this is what happens. Guns hurt
the son
people.
just cold-bloodedly killed someone who was writhing on the floor dying. I mean, that's pretty nuts.
This is tough.
It's an intense scene. It really is.
Looks like Dolph.
Is
that Dolph Lundgren?
Family hiding under the house.
Like him, yeah.
It's like,
Jesus.
Yeah, they are cutting away after shots. So it's not very gruesome.
I think they actually had to edit this. They had to edit some shots out of this because this is an R, but there were some things that pushed it a little too far later in the movie too. But
see, they could have showed the family getting just riddled with bullets.
Yeah.
That would have been a little intense under the house. So I guess I do see.
Right? No, you'll see. You'll see. Even there'll be even when he shot the person on the ground, there was nobody there. Yeah. You just saw him, he looked at the ground, you heard some sound effects, and he just fired his gun. Yeah. And they cut away real quick. So, it is. But the thing is that's good filmmaking in the sense that, like, you're still feeling this intensity without seeing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're still feeling, you're, like, there in the moment without seeing it.
They handled this very delicately.
Oh, there goes Roy Scheider.
Dad's
he survived
done.
Fighting a big shark
Three sharks.
Times.
Two sharks or three?
Just to die like this on the beach.
And he's fighting freaking.
All that.
He's fighting the dude from Die Hard.
He does look like a goon from like Die Hard.
Yeah, he looks like the blonde-haired dude from Die Hard.
It's funny because Thomas Jane is clearly a badass in this moment. I mean, he does the best he can. He takes out some guys, but he really becomes a badass when he becomes the Punisher. It's like I guess when you take that social, when you take that element out of your mind, the what's the term for it in psychology, the ego and the
id,
the super the id.
Ego? I
think when those things when you don't care anymore, when you can take emotion out of something, you can truly become a monster.
But this is really brutal. Like I could see why he just wants revenge and just you know it's a fine line there. It's like why would we root for somebody who just goes around killing people?
And it's tough.
It's like
well, you have to
go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no, you have to set this up so everything he does is validated. Even though later on you'll still see that I believe that like they do things to make him a good guy, so he's not like ruthless.
And that's a tough thing for a filmmaker. You know, you have to juggle between: do you tell the true story, or do you tell a story that's going to sell? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, this might not have sold as much, but they had to show the true story of Punisher here. There's no sugarcoating this.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I believe this is a little more sugarcoated than the actual comic, though.
Yeah,
the comic is more violent. So when you actually watch a Netflix show, it's more violent, but it's more darker, but you still can root for the character, even though you don't agree with everything he does. Right. You see the motivations behind it in the Netflix special.
Right.
So Ryan, what year did this character premiere? You said 1973.
1974.
74. So he's probably out of all the superheroes we've done so far, is he the newest? In terms of, because, like, you know, he has Superman, Batman from the 30s, and we have Iron Man was from the 60s. Right?
No,
Iron Man.
Out of all the ones we've done so far?
I believe Blade came out after.
Oh, it was Blade newer? Oh, maybe Blade was. I forgot about Blade.
I think and it would have been soon after, but he could have been. But I'm pretty sure Blade, Tomb of Dracula 2010 was Blade's first appearance.
Okay.
I think that was shortly after.
Yeah, I forgot about Blade. I was thinking about
I'm trying to think of anyone else though. I mean, for the most part, we've done early.
Well, just Iron Man, Superman, and Batman. So
no, I think he's definitely one of the newer ones though. That's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's what we call the Bronze Age of comics, which is 1970 to roughly 1981 or 84, give or take. But
now this is kind of a rare comic book / superhero movie where there's not really a lot of visual effects needed. Which is probably good because this movie, like I said, was pretty low budget, but it's all practical. It's just as long as you can afford fake guns and blanks and squibs, which are like the little explosive charges that make people look like they're getting shot.
Blood
That's
packs,
all you need for the Punisher, right? Yeah, blood packs.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody flying around or transforming or any magical powers. So,
and this is why this movie can be made for that budget. What you said, 30 million, something like that.
Yeah, you couldn't make Iron Man or Hulk on a 35
Well, I was surprised when I found out like that Deadpool was 56 million nowadays.
That's crazy. Yeah, nowadays. That's really, you have to be really efficient.
Yeah.
And economical.
And I gotta say, what's interesting about this character in this movie is everyone always says, how is there not like a Batman yet? You know, like how, like who's who?
Oh my God! Why didn't they just jump off the pier?
Because
when you're not
sorry, I just asked the moment how I'm watching.
They were injured.
His wife and child get mowed down on a pier. They could have jumped over the edge into the water.
Well, they were injured. They were barely. They just got out of a car accident. The kid could barely walk.
I would throw him over the side.
I would still jump over too. Yeah,
I would just jump over too. But I do have to say,
I was shocked by that moment.
I mean, what Chad is trying to say, it's their own damn fault. That's what Chad's saying.
Yes. That was my hashtag. Your own damn fault. Just jump into the ocean, and the car can't run you over on the pier. You are literally surrounded.
I've been chased by someone in the car on my rollerblades with the Super Soaker. It was all fun. I was rollerblading down the street on the sidewalk. At any point, I could have stopped and turned around. That car would have had to pull a 3-point turn to come after me. That's the last thing that went through my head. I was just running for my life.
No, I would jump over the side so I don't get run over.
Do you guys just hear what I said, Chad?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to put yourself in that position.
I would be looking for a way out, and I'd say, "Oh, open ocean! I'm gonna jump towards the open ocean."
That's you thinking without any stress.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Ryan. Sorry, what were you saying about it? We wonder why there's not actual.
Oh yeah,
Batman
I think that's
in real life.
That's what interests me about this character. Is you think of Batman, you think, how is there not like someone with $1 billion that hasn't become like a superhero with gadgets and stuff? But it's kind of tough to really justify that could happen. But with the Punisher, he is just a guy with very specialized training
skills
and weapons. Like someone could become like him. They could lose it. They could lose a murder in their family, and maybe it throws them to the edge. I mean, it's possible, but I've never heard of anything like that.
When you said he has special skills, it reminded me of like Liam Neeson in Taken. I have a particular set of skills, and that's kind of goes on that whole whole mission to save his daughter and just kills everybody along the way.
Which is awesome. Punisher is skilled in guerrilla, military tactics, close quarters combat, infiltration, marksmanship, and demolitions. He has a lot of special training that he can really take advantage of.
Oh, so they just kicked him over the edge of the pier, easily broke through the side railing.
He kicked him with a lot of force. That dude did a karate kick on him. Right here we have Tom Shane Frank Castle. He's been beaten up. He's been shot a couple times by the brother that died, Saint's kid, Howard Saint's kid.
Yeah, he just lost everything. He lost everything. Like, I think at this point you just be like, yeah, just shoot me. Like, I lost my whole life.
Yeah.
All my loved ones.
And interesting note about this character. So when Stan Lee, when the multiple people that created him in the early days, Jerry Conway was the writer who wrote him. But Stan Lee envisioned a character named the Assassin. And he knew that he wanted him to eventually become a hero. But after discussing it with everyone, they realized, and especially Stan realized, that you really can't have a hero named the Assassin. It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't work.
Not after the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
No. Really, yeah.
But so interesting note. He almost had a different name before he became the Punisher.
Whoa, he is blown out to sea as the pier blows up.
Yeah. Yeah. And he barely survives.
Wow.
I think this is a true testament about the human psyche. Like, you break someone down so much, this is what they become. Yeah.
Like,
there's nothing I know later on there's probably some redeeming qualities in the Punisher character that we're going to see, but it's just like who he becomes after this. Now seeing this again, it's valid. The person that he becomes, the eventual person that he becomes, like, I'm behind it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see where it comes from. I mean, he's not a bad guy per se, but he becomes this guy who's like, he doesn't believe in justice when he actually comes back. Right. And so he reaps his own justice.
Yep. You got to really, I mean, how do you identify what a bad guy is? How do you identify what?
Well, the thing is, it's like everyone has this thing in them that, like, if you're wronged, you want to actually wrong someone back. Some people don't do it. Some people have moral code, whatever. This here, yes. This here, I feel like his moral, everything that made him, like, you know, a good person was lost, was taken away from him, and nothing happens to the person that did it.
What about the mother that loses their son to gang violence, and that same mother goes and becomes a mother figure to that person who commits the crime and kills her original son? Like, I know that's a lot to take in.
That woman is strong. I will tell you, there's probably more people.
But those stories are there.
No, those stories are there
everywhere.
I will say those stories are there, but there's also the other side too, where you know, where you have the boys in the hood, where you kill my brother, I'm coming to get you.
Right.
And then those people come and get him, and then those people come and get them, and then that is more common.
Yeah.
It's tough. I would say it's tough if someone killed your child or your brother. To just, like, forgive and love them is a tough thing to do.
I think that makes you hate the bad guys more in this, is the fact that they were so ruthless to kill innocent women and children.
Right, they had nothing to do with it.
You know, if they just tried to kill him and left him for dead and, like, okay, and he's out for revenge, it might seem like a bit much.
Well, it's funny because, like...
They just wiped out his entire family. Like, that's really bad. You want these guys to pay.
Well, in the scene before, John Travolta, Howard Saint's character, says, all right, once they find him, they say he's in the family reunion. He says, kill Thomas Jane, kill the Punisher.
Right, now isn't
Punisher's wife?
Yeah,
it says
John Travolta's
the
wife.
family.
Yes,
the whole
that's
family.
Right,
She's
that's
like,
right.
is that what you want? Okay, take out the whole family. So to them, it's like he didn't care. He's just like, whatever you want, honey.
Yeah. He could have nipped that in the bud before it happened.
Right.
He didn't.
So the thing is, but that shows how cold he is as well.
Yeah.
On top of the revenge, because you can understand the revenge part.
Right.
But the whole family. Mm-hmm. That makes them the bad guy.
They're worse than they're worse than the gangs we see on Gangland. What's the code? Always like no women, no children.
Yeah,
they're worse than what we taught the hardest gang bangers in the world are. Like, they killed women and children.
Right.
That's the one moral code that we're taught that do not do.
Oh yeah.
So this is an interesting scene right here because it's Howard Saint essentially. Surprising his wife with the news that he did what she wanted him to do, which was kill the whole... It really came down to her decision, and she's as ruthless as he is, if not more. But it's an interesting relationship between them two. So
I think these earrings that she's putting on right now are not a prop, but were actual about $1 million earrings.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
That was unnecessary.
Real crystal. Yeah. Well, that's production value.
Those could have been a prop because they didn't have a big budget.
I know.
They probably rented them.
Do some Kobe's
must have returned
Arcanians.
those quickly.
But yeah, they just had a love scene because
we
he's
were
like...
we were talking about Stan Lee before, too. Stan Lee was a producer on this, but he does not appear in any kind of cameo.
He does
this
not?
must have been one of the only few.
And Avi Arad also produced this, who produced the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, okay.
And Gail Ann Hurd produced this, and she goes back with, like, she used to be married to James Cameron, and she produced a lot of his early movies. Like
who wasn't James Cameron married to?
Well, that's, there's been a few people, yeah.
So he's a broken man here. He's back at the house, Frank Castle, and he's reliving, I'm sure, everything in his mind of what he experienced.
Oh, can you imagine that? Like, watching that? Wait, was there a scene that showed what happened to him? Hospital, anything?
No, he got saved. The guy from earlier...
Explosion.
It was
dragged him out. You'll see him. It's some local
guy. The fisherman saved him while he was floating on the edge of the ocean with a huge pool of blood in the ocean around him. Could have attracted a shark. Then who would have saved him? Roy Scheider. Chief Brody's already dead.
Yeah, that's true.
He wouldn't have saved him in the movie.
He's taking his daddy's
they're down in Florida. There's definitely sharks around.
Yeah.
We are stuck on this now.
The whole movie.
It's all about Jaws.
All about Jaws.
That's the guy that saved him.
Jaws. Everything comes back to Jaws.
Greatest villain in the history of villainry.
But I guess
Jaws?
The shark.
Oh, yeah.
There he is. That's the guy who saved him.
So Frank finds this one shirt in the middle, just randomly, this one shirt in the middle of nowhere on the way back on the beach, and it happens to have a skull on it, and that's where he starts to discover.
Wait, that's where he gets it?
That's where
he doesn't even, make it?
That's not how it works in the comic books, but
No.
that's how it works here in this movie.
His son gives it to him in an earlier scene.
That's true, that's right.
Oh, okay.
His son gives it to him as some gift, saying that this is supposed to protect you. It's a good luck thing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I just meant he doesn't find it on a beach.
How did this Haitian dude bring him back to health?
He is a local shaman, excuse me. Yeah, he knows how to stitch
They're resourceful when you live on they're on some island, right? I don't know.
It's Anguilla. They're on Anguilla, and you'll find out it's 5 months. This is 5 months later. It's just... It was bad, time.
So what if his son had bought him a completely different shirt that day at the souvenir shop? It was
Care Bears.
What was big at the time, make 7 Up yours or something like that, and then that's his
7 Up, man.
Yeah, or something with the I don't know. What do you see on the Venice boardwalk? Crazy.
This is what I love about movies when they do this stuff. We don't. What is it? Exposition. I don't know. It's just he suddenly is in this apartment that he now lives in, and he has all these weapons, and we don't know how he got them. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't need to know where he got them, but sometimes they can.
They show because earlier his father showed him his guns collection. He did go back and take his father's.
Oh, guns. But that was 3 guns. Now he's got
Well, yeah, we don't know where he got all these from.
Yeah, that's what I meant. All this extra weaponry. But it's fine. You don't need to see that, but. That's what I enjoy about movies, is they know what to tell.
And then here's Mystique.
Little montage of him hiding the weapons all around his place.
Honestly, when do we see superhero movies where there isn't at least one character in the movie that's been in another superhero movie? It's unbelievable.
There's been so many of them now that you can connect to anything.
Now he's just putting together a car.
This was post X-Men, so she's been Mystique now. That's interesting that they chose her to do this.
Oh yeah, Rebecca Romijn. Yes, this was she had already done X and X1 and X2.
Damn.
X2
but
was the year
had paint
before
all over her. Nobody knew.
What's that?
Yeah.
She was painted in.
Oh, that's true.
Well, X2 she showed
X2
X2 she was out.
She popped up as herself briefly. Yeah. Yep.
And then they're like, something, Romaine? You're Marvel. Let's get you in this other Marvel movie that we have no budget for, so we can't afford the star, and you're barely an actress. No, I like Rebecca Romijn.
And she probably loved taking a role. She'd have to spend hours in makeup,
We got Ben Foster here.
Ben Foster, another from X-Men 3.
Yeah, he's right. I love Ben Foster. Might be one of the greatest actors ever.
Angel. He's Angel.
Well,
Archangel or just Angel?
No, I think it's Archangel.
No, it's just Angel, but he does become Archangel.
He becomes Archangel, right?
Yeah, Ben Foster's always he's always pretty intense.
Also in Flash Forward.
Was he in Flash Forward? I watched that show back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting show.
He was.
Fascinating. Mm-hmm. Didn't last very long, but...
Ben Foster's one of the greatest actors I know.
There's neighbors in the apartment building that he's in.
They're derelicts.
Ben Foster has a lot of piercings. Apparently, they were all fake and everything like that. Yeah. Except for he actually had one real eyebrow piercing.
And these characters actually, I don't think or know for sure if they're based in the comics, but I think these characters make sense because if you think about it, the Punisher is probably going to live somewhere where it's going to be the more underbelly of society, or people that are maybe struggling, people that are not as well known, or
where no one's paying attention to you, really.
And that's really what they personify, or have issues. Yeah. Like Rebecca Romijn's character eventually does that. Yeah. Punisher comes to.
Well, they all have issues, though.
They all have issues.
I think it's great that we don't see anything superimposed in timeline. You usually see that 6 months later.
Oh, you mean time elapsing? Yeah, you're supposed to understand.
See, the thing is that, I would say that, but then you just asked earlier, how did he get this guy to hell so fast?
Mm-hmm. It's not.
There's nothing that says how long it's been.
Well, you saw his hair and beard got real long, and then they were gone. So
it's implied.
You can infer.
Well, so I'd say that, but the Thought Junkie didn't catch that. He's a Thought Junkie.
I caught it.
Oh, wait. You know what? I'm sorry. This was 2004, you guys said?
Yes.
Okay, so it would have been... I think the C6 came out in 2005, so I think that's the older Corvette. I was wrong. I think it's the C5. Sorry,
it's not product placement for the new
I mean, it could have been. But I don't see anything representing the newer model. Yeah, that is the C5. Actually, I take it back.
So now he's starting. This is the actual start of his revenge tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got Mr. Ocean's 11 here.
Yep.
Hung upside down. Trying to get some info.
And once again, I saw him recently. He's not in as good shape as he was in the movie anymore. But it's been 14 years.
Yeah, he doesn't do the hanging up down shirtless scenes anymore.
Exactly.
So,
but he was with his family and they paid for his Jersey Mike, so that was nice.
That's nice.
and this is one of the scenes.
Ooh.
He's lighting up a torch. He wants to get information out of him.
It's gonna get ugly.
This is hilarious. This scene.
Yes.
So he lights up a blowtorch, but he uses, what does he use? He uses
a popsicle.
A popsicle on his back to make it appear as though there's fire on the guy's back.
Oh.
But what he does is he builds it. If listen to what he's saying, he's
He's got sizzling steak.
You'll feel like meat burning.
Yeah.
You'll smell it, and he kind of like puts this visual in his head. So when he just starts to smell this meat and when he starts to feel the cold in his back, he thinks it's happening to him.
It's a very smart torture tactic. But I agree with you. I think the real Punisher
would
just fucking torture him and would just put the fire in his back.
Well, maybe they had to kind of like ease you into this.
Well, no, I
violence
feel like,
and.
But it goes back to
the key is watching something on cinema. You have to still look at the guy as a hero, and back then too.
Right.
Violent movies weren't as prevalent as they are now.
That's funny.
I will say the reaction here is pretty hilarious.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait.
But once again, we wouldn't be getting that with the real Punisher.
He's doing it in his apartment?
Yeah.
He's got neighbors. Did he think anybody would notice? They're listening outside his door.
They are scared as shit right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, we just talked about how he didn't want to draw attention. Go to an abandoned warehouse down by the docks or something. What is he doing?
Well, he's thinking that this place is an abandoned warehouse. He hasn't paid attention to his neighbors.
Well, that's the funny
thing.
But
you're right.
He's not that dumb.
You're right.
That's the thing. He actually, throughout the movie, he kind of does the opposite of drawing attention.
Okay, this makes no sense.
Well, makes
he's got to know somebody's going to call the police when
you would think he wouldn't want to have attention drawn, but yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, that
doesn't make sense.
When he actually makes it. Yeah, okay.
There's boobs.
Okay.
Boobs.
We just saw
There's
boobs.
some rated R.
Oh, it's too quick.
That's because it's rated R. That's why we.
The thing is, it wasn't even necessary because it was just like
it wasn't necessary. It was like a cocktail waitress, topless cocktail waitress.
Absolutely, was not necessary. But I'm sure.
I mean, it was for persona, but I think that it was for the setting up.
I feel like these days this wouldn't be R. If it wasn't for those boobs right there, this would be PG-13.
I agree.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know, but there wasn't
a lot of people
movies.
getting shot in this.
They do get pretty
blood.
ruthlessly killed. Actually,
you can't show
movie,
blood.
So
Well, if you get rid of the blood,
PG-13.
then
maybe, yeah.
Killing a bunch of kids, that might be rated R by itself.
Yeah, that could push it over the edge.
I don't think they would have made it rated R just for that one boob shot.
Yeah,
because they would have took that out.
Right.
It was just that wasn't long enough.
Oh. So so where did he have all these guns? Where did he get all these new guns from?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what movies do, I guess.
Oh,
we don't need to know that.
Just,
okay. It was back in the day.
The Punisher.
Right.
Hey,
maybe still had his
it's like we talked about Superman. Hey, he all of a sudden he was just there.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he stole them from some sort of like arms facility for an army or something, or a barracks. Like who knows? But I wouldn't have minded seeing how he got the guns. Like maybe he steals them from a mafia, and we get more of a kind of intro to the character with stuff like that. But you don't really need it. He's the Punisher, and he's going to get weapons at some point.
Well, yeah. The thing is, well, we don't actually know his military background, but we know he's a police officer background.
Right.
We do find out that he has
got
military
connections.
background.
I'm sure. Yeah.
We learned early on before Howard is saying when he's getting all the information on the family, he learns that he has a military background. So we did see that earlier. But yes, yeah.
He's out. He's getting information and scouting.
Yes.
The director's technique where he's doing the exposition, kind of telling them what's going on, so we're seeing it and doing it all at the same time.
Kind of a little montage, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of through Punisher's perception.
Going deeper into the family connections and. He's like a private eye right now. It's very noir. Yeah.
What's this actor's name? I always confuse him with Ed Harris, but it's not Ed Harris.
It's I know the guy. He is this. He was on Falling Skies. You guys ever watch Falling Skies on TV?
He was also
for a second.
He was also in the movie The Postman.
I don't remember
Kevin Costner.
I don't remember his name offhand, but
in this movie he's kind of I'm sure we'll figure out in a second. In this movie. He is Howard Saint's right-hand man.
Yeah.
He's got a very evil, persona to him.
Is that Atlee from...
He's a good character.
Is that the guy from Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yes, he is in Gone in 60 Seconds. That's true. Yep.
Oh. See, he announces that he's back, which I feel is a bad plan.
Did John Travolta just exhume Frank Castle's grave to see if he was actually
No, Frank Castle exhumed it himself.
Yeah, he did.
And left it in his course so he knows he's
alive. So he knows he's still alive. Sorry,
yeah.
Totally. Okay, gotcha.
And now he walks up to the FBI and everybody.
The cops, yeah. LAPD.
News reporters.
Not LAPD, sorry. The Florida, Tampa PD.
This just makes me think, like, did Marvel foresee the future, how cinema would change, and did they create their scripts and their production value based upon our expectations, or did they create our expectations?
It's a good question.
See, the thing is, I believe there's a balance here, and this is this time, because I think there's more violent movies made now that are passable. But at this time, there is a balance of like how much they want to put on,
right.
how violent do they want to make it. How dark do they want to make it? This, I feel, is just the limit of darkness it could go, and violence it could go.
Well,
even though it didn't do as well, being rated R, but
I think comic book movies were still pretty new in the early 2000s, and I think they weren't. Maybe you're a little afraid to test the limits of what violence they could portray, and they did portray pretty violent elements to this movie, as much as they thought, I guess, were comfortable with The Punisher. But nowadays, obviously, we get stuff like Netflix Daredevil, where it really gets violent and more truth and bloody and gory.
But this movie, because this movie didn't do well, audiences didn't really respond to it. I don't think they didn't do a lot of R. I mean, there's still not a ton of R-rated. Obviously, lately, Deadpool, but that's more comedic. And then you had Logan, which I think was
I feel like that's a lot more like gory violence,
right?
Than this, right? Like you see,
but you don't really get. They're still mostly PG-13 because that's how you maximize your box office. More people, younger people, are able to see it without restrictions, and you make more money. So
it's crazy. It's crazy to think that there are people out there who don't know why a film could be PG-13 versus R. Like, PG-13 simply could mean that you want to get the most bang out of your buck as a studio,
Right.
If you're PG-13, that means people who are 13 or look 13 and potentially could be 10 can still go in and purchase tickets for that film and watch it. That means the studio gets more revenue because more people have bought tickets to those movies.
But sometimes they do push the limits. There's been a lot of studies and complaints by certain people about PG-13 movies still are really violent and everything. It's like, okay, maybe they eliminate a lot of the sex and nudity, but there are people getting shot and blown up and killed all over PG-13 movies. But as long as you don't show the blood, or something, then it's fine. But there still can be pretty violent. But I mean, there's still R-rated movies also that make a lot of money. Every once in a while, an R-rated movie will break out, make a ton of money. But it's still PG-13. The numbers don't lie. All the highest grossing movies are PG-13 movies. So
like the highest grossing rated R films, that's like what? That's
Matrix
Hangover,
Reloaded. Comedies or Matrix.
I think what's his? The Matrix, and then Deadpool, obviously.
But you had a recent case was Venom, which is out in theaters right now, where Sony, everything leading up to that movie, we all thought it was going to be rated R. They mentioned it, and I'm pretty sure, and I think they actually filmed it. Venom. Ryan, you probably know this better than me, but Venom's a pretty violent character. He bites off people's heads and all sorts of stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then just not that far before the release, they announced it was PG-13. I think they had trimmed some things, and hey, the movie went on to open to huge box office numbers.
Did it really?
Well, so I mean, maybe they'll release. A lot of times they'll do that and then release the unrated cut on home video, which means it's the stuff that was probably cut to keep it from being R.
Yeah, I feel like a thing like Venom doesn't have to be rated R.
Right. But sometimes with these violent characters, you want to see that.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing about doing Logan in contrary to the other Wolverines.
Logan just stabs people with knives for hands all the time. It's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be violent. Let's see the real implications of that. The real consequence. See, so a lot of people argue, well, it's maybe it's good to see sometimes the consequences of this violence, which PG-13 hides.
Right.
I don't know, Martin. Maybe you have a thought on that too.
Well, I have to tell you,
when you see the real consequences, it might make it a little more squeamish, or if there's more blood and things, then it makes people not want to experience that in real life and turn towards violence.
I gotta tell you, man,
I don't know.
for a good 2.5 years, I couldn't do violence, and people who know me know this story because I couldn't do violence. I couldn't do horror films all that stuff was just too much for me because...
Well, I know you, but I don't know if I know this story. So.
Well, the first video I saw, maybe 2013 on not YouTube, Facebook, was of... The first police shooting video I saw was of a police guy shooting a bum. And, like, I was watching it, and it didn't feel like someone just got shot. It felt like a movie.
PC's homeless person.
Huh?
Homeless person.
No. Well,
don't call them bums anymore.
Homeless person.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Sure. You don't call
You're right. Thanks, Ryan.
Right.
Thanks, Thought Ryan.
No problem.
But yeah, I saw this homeless person get shot, and when I was looking at it, I didn't feel anything. It was as if I was watching a movie, but no, that guy really got shot. That guy's life was ended. I was watching someone's life ended in real life there.
Yeah.
And that was too much for me to watch.
Disturbing.
And then
that's really disturbing. Yeah.
And then we went to see the opening night of the Dark Knight Rises, and then I get out at 3 a.m, and suddenly there's a story about an Aurora shooting that happened. So there was just too much that happened within that time period for me, and then I realized I'd been so desensitized by violence that
that's the problem.
I couldn't watch anything anymore, so I didn't do any violence for a good 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's a big complaint with modern movies, video games also, and I've been accused of that.
Oh, video games are the worst. I was doing a Call of Duty. There was a scene where there was a choice where you were like infiltrating this mob or whatever it was, and you had to shoot up an airport. And you had the choice of being one of those persons who was shooting innocent bystanders, or just like going off and doing your own thing and not doing it. There's so many people who chose I'm going to be that person that kills everyone in that airport based upon the stuff that they saw.
Crazy.
That's
that should be like a psychological experience.
Right.
Yeah, that's just
I chose to kill people in that video game.
That's a debate we could go on for days on media and the role of violence in society. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're all valid points, and it's things that we all work in the entertainment industry, but sometimes it's there's a lot of factors, but it's all in the big same web of connectedness. Yeah, so I don't know.
No, because
you got to be responsible. You got to be responsible as the content makers. You have to sometimes keep that stuff in mind.
Yeah,
right?
Well, yeah. True. But to me, I feel like, and I mean, I agree with you, and it all depends on like the subject matter of the thing. That's like. You have to, if it's sugarcoating it like they did in the 50s and 60s and 70s and stuff, what doesn't feel honest.
Right.
In some movies, in some situations, in some in some projects. So you have this balance, which I mean,
probably wasn't until the 60s or 70s that violence in movies actually started to really be depicted. Yeah. More realistically. I mean, obviously, like, back then it still looks pretty, but they started adding blood and, like, real wounds. Right. And that reached a whole nother level in 1998 with Saving Private Ryan. Yeah. Where nobody had ever seen war violence portrayed that realistically, that gritty on film before. Yes. Yeah. And now every movie since Saving Private Ryan, it's like a war movie or anything like that, it's all depicted the same. But before Saving Private Ryan, you can easily see the fake blood squirts, and they look more like Hollywood action movies and stuff like that. But even if they were movies that are supposed to be taken more seriously as dramas, so it all changed after that. So it's like, how far do we go with that?
And the crazy thing is, like, we're all talking about this right now and talking about how violence is bad, but yet we still can side with Punisher here. You know what I mean? Right. We can still side with him and say that the violence that he does...
It's very complicated. It really is. It's tough, and I don't even know where we're going with this debate. But it's all connected. It's all things to think about as you're watching movies like this.
It seems like there's so much gray area. You know what I mean? There's nothing black and white anymore.
Well, this is what I say, because here's a scene where you actually see some empathy, where you have this violent ex that's trying to go after Rebecca Romaine's character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And these neighbors are just they kind of know each other, so these neighbors are like trying to like say something and protect and do something about it.
I just still can't believe he's getting all these neighbors involved with what he's doing.
Now, right now he's not. Right now they just got him involved. You'll see
stuff, Well, speaking of the neighbors, there was a scene while we were talking about this, and I just have to say something. When the neighbors looked up his profile, and I think they even said out loud he worked in CTU, the Counter-Terrorist Unit, which is a fictional organization created for the TV show 24, which was still on in its third or fourth season at the time when this movie was made, because it started in 2001. And I love that. I've seen every episode of 24. I was a huge 24 fan and watched it from the beginning. And That's pretty awesome. They got a little 24
Little
reference.
24
I don't know
nod.
what. I have no idea what the connection is. To the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Yeah, because they're pretty much like reeling off his resume.
Yeah,
so you can see
maybe the creators of this movie were just fans. So that's definitely possible.
That's a huge possibility.
This is the first scene, other than the other scene, but he never talked to the neighbors. But this guy, Ben Foster's character, is just surprised that someone actually stood up.
Yeah, but I mean, they can hear weird stuff going on in there. I don't know. It's just.
Have you never stood up for somebody?
Have I
stood up for somebody?
Have you? Okay, so there was a time where I stood up for a guy who was. Well, the girl was being harassed by this guy. I guess it was her boyfriend. I had no idea what the girl was doing, and I had no idea if it's valid or not. But like, he was physically probably going to hurt this girl. Yeah. So I ran and I jumped in between the both of them.
Crazy. Now, I have to say. That's very noble, and I would love to think that I would do the same thing in those situations, but I really don't like confrontation. I like to avoid so I would do miserably, that show, like that What Would You Do, like right. Dateline, whatever it is, and they always set people up and see how they react. I would do terrible. I would not want to... Whatever my reaction would be would probably not be look good for me on national television. Not that I'm a bad person, it's just I don't like confrontation. I don't want to get involved in weird, awkward, I don't know, tense situations, make me very uncomfortable, and I want to avoid them at all costs. So.
Dude, I was on the phone with my friend. She's like 5'2", and she was out, and she was like, I hear this guy screaming at this girl, and I'm like, what the hell are you going to do? And she like wanted to run over there and stop what was ever happening. I was on the phone with her. I'm like, no, just don't do it. But even someone that small realized that there's a choice you have to make. You're either going to help, or you're going to run. And who says running is the worst thing to do?
I'll call 911 as I'm running away.
Yeah.
That's Or pass some people say, hey, there's something going on over there. And just
there's something going on behind me.
I did my part. I passed it along to people who are nearby. Right. I don't know.
No,
there's a little bit of self-preservation in there. Like, I don't know. Like, you watch these heroes in these movies, and you're allowed to think you would do the same thing. But at the same time, like, I don't want to get killed if I don't need to. I don't know. I'm just...
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm sure there's different situations when
that's what me personally. There's different situations. I have stood up for. I've stood up and I've stood up for situations. I've stopped fights. I've done that stuff, but I wouldn't say I've done it every time, and I haven't done it for every situation because
you gotta weigh the pros and cons before you jump in there, right?
But I mean, I have.
I'm not saying this probably is making me look good or anything. I'm just saying I'm not saying I would never help or never get involved. I'm just saying. It just would make me uncomfortable, and I really have to think about, is it worth it?
Yeah, there's always that fight or flight moment.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's hard.
Yeah.
I was so point at this moment because
where we catch us up on the
Frank
story.
Castle is like he's already he's broken into his wife's car, Howard Saint's wife's car, who's at the movies every Thursday. He's making a phone call from her phone to his henchman. His main henchman. And
is his name Glass, Martin?
Yes, his name is Mr. Glass.
Is Mr. Glass?
Uh-oh. Don't get me started. I won't be able to come back.
Wait, where did Frank get the voice modulator from?
Well, he saw him just put it on.
Because he's calling from the...
He got it from Cotton Weary.
If you saw, he strapped the modulator on the phone.
I looked away. I was looking at
Martin. But the one thing I want to notice is that in that scene, he pulls out those earrings, which are not in the nice case that he gave to her earlier. Yes. The problem is, this is 5 months later. She still has them in the case in their car.
Yeah.
What
is that? What does that mean, Chris? What does that mean?
That's her own damn fault. No.
Yeah, that's her own damn fault getting stolen. She gets $1 million earrings. She leaves them in like the glove compartment in a case in the car.
They look like they were untouched.
Why aren't those locked up in a safe?
Mm-hmm.
It's yellow.
Why was she bringing them to the movies?
This is like very
and leaving them in the car.
This is very different from the much darker "Your Own Damn Fault" we had earlier in this movie. And the wife and child did not jump over the pier. But, earrings. I mean, it's still.
So what he did, he took his car to a hotel.
This is great. The fake fire hydrant. So you just put it down. You park wherever you
want. So nobody will take a spot. Yeah. So, because he took her car to this place, they got a parking ticket.
Save the spot.
And then took the car back.
He's a tacticianer, and he's plotting out this entire.
I could use that one of those in LA. Scheme. But you'd have to paint.
I mean, that's what I think he's doing.
You'd have to paint the curb too.
Yeah,
but at night, maybe
you
you get away with it easier.
This is my favorite scene right here.
Because there's a woman in lingerie. Naked?
No, because it's when the that is horrible.
You said that while it was on the screen.
A naked woman.
No, that is not the intention.
Okay, what is this scene?
It's the scene where it's really starting to unravel for Howard Sane. So.
And he sees them too.
But yeah, the half-naked girl is good too. Sure.
Martin, have we checked anything off your list? Are these green lamps in the background?
Actually,
now?
I haven't seen much green in this one.
Well, there's green in the background there.
That's an aquarium. It's like sea green.
It's a green light.
Sea green.
Asian Reporter. I don't think I've seen that yet.
I haven't.
There's no actually, I think there was one. No, was she Asian?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there was when they were reporting when they were reporting Frank Castle's return.
Yeah.
But Frank Castle Returns. That should have been the sequel name.
Now this is the stuff that starts to be silly because like he's in hiding, he's just sitting in a restaurant in the open. You know, the rest of the neighbors are there, but you'll see soon like this guy comes in.
But he's in Podunk somewhere.
Right, but this guy comes in
with a guitar that's really a bazooka rocket launcher.
Wait, what? Don't spoil this for me. You know he's about to whip out a bazooka?
I was just talking about Desperado.
Oh. Then not this movie?
The what?
Is there a bazooka in this scene? Or not?
I don't know. There might be. It was just shot like that.
The scene's built
I
to
thought
that.
you were saying like there was a bazooka.
There is no
and
bazooka.
It's a Latin dude.
Okay.
It's a Latin dude that came in an action film carrying a guitar case. When's the last time you saw that? Desperado. Antonio Banderas.
Is there a gun in the guitar case in Desperado?
Oh yeah. Well,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Have you guys not seen Desperado?
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh, dude, we need to watch it.
That's what it's known for. The case with the gun.
Yeah, this guy is Harry Heck.
Did they say Harry Potter?
He's Harry Heck, and he's like
he's
like an assassin.
Yeah. Oh. But you're thinking that.
Okay.
You do feel like it's going to be a good.
I'm as confused as Frank Castle is right now. But.
Well, yeah.
Okay, if you would have saw Harry Potter, if you would have saw Desperado when you were like maybe 10 or 11 and you were confused by it as a kid, like I was, like that's the only thing you'd be thinking right now. There's probably some capers out there, if you're watching this with us and they see this Latin dude who looks stone cold and hard with a fucking guitar case in this diner, it'll go straight back to Desperado.
Can I be honest? I don't think I've ever seen Desperado.
Dude, you gotta watch it.
Is that Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is that part of the El Mariachi trilogy?
Yeah.
Yep. El Mariachi was the low budget first film, right?
Yeah.
And Desperado was developed from.
And then did it
go all the way to the second one, and then Once Upon a Time Mexico's the third one.
I don't think I've seen any of them. I know, I need to.
Oh, it'll be so fun to watch those.
I know.
I got all three of them.
See, most people hate when someone hasn't seen the film that you love. For me, it's just like, oh, dude, I get to experience that with you for the first time.
I think I get angry at people.
Resident movie nerd, yes,
How have you not seen this?
How have you not seen Jurassic Park?
What's the matter with you? Well, that's weird if you, find out somebody hasn't seen, Star Wars or Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. It's like, where did you have
Did you grow up in
television
Nigeria?
growing up? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Were you locked in a basement?
Right. So I'm looking. This guy seems like a villain. Harry Heck. Is he?
No, he's a good guy.
Heck, is he related to that family on ABC's The Middle, the Heck family? Just saying.
No, it's a very awkward moment. I think the characters portray that pretty well with their expressions towards him. I mean, he comes in and sings a random song to.
It's like Johnny Cash sauntering
out. We haven't seen this in a while, guys, huh?
I haven't seen this in years, man.
Okay, all right. It'll be a nice next scene.
Dude, we need to do... I now want to start a podcast that has the genre of Desperado, so we can watch it and commentate on it.
Oh, that's not he's about to get... Boom. Oh, he's jumping the drawbridge.
Yeah, because he saw this guy's not stopping.
Oh, this is good.
He doesn't want to.
It's Harry Heck.
I thought he said he was a good guy.
No, he's not. And that's why I'm surprised you guys think he is, because that's why I realized that no one's seen this movie in a while. No, Harry Heck is an assassin.
But who said he was a good guy? Is that Ryan?
Ryan said that.
Well,
yes.
Well, that was me joking with you guys who know nothing.
But the thing is that he sings in a song to get him off kilter.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be this weird scene. But and then you find out.
Oh, of course, a kid chases a ball into the street right as he's driving.
Is that a park?
Like
what is that?
Too. Why would she? Oh my god.
Looks like a park back there.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
I gave it to him.
playing soccer? Okay.
Yeah, she's playing on the median. She's like playing soccer on a
park.
highway median. If your ball goes in there, you get hit by a car. Guess what?
Your own damn fault.
It's your own damn fault.
Oh shit!
That's how we need to do it from now on. We gotta. One of us has to set it up and lob it up there, and then we all say it at the same time.
And then we know who's paying attention, who's not.
Yeah. Hashtag collector.
Hashtag collector's looking at some collecting stuff for us.
Oh, in the neck.
He thought he had a regular knife, projectile
what was
knife.
that? That was a
Did he say don't bring a knife to
like
the...
It's a
knife
switchblade.
gun.
Yeah,
Shot
it was a
out
switchblade,
there
but
in
he
the
shot it in it.
R.I.P. Harry Heck.
But my problem with the
of a
scene
way
is
to go.
this: if Frank Castle's inconspicuous, they were asking, "We need to find him." Next thing you know, the first assassin they send knows right where he's at.
Yeah.
So
maybe he needs to just so
he should
lay
be,
a
he
little
should,
lower.
Yes, he should be disappearing from that spot because they know where he's at now.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He hangs out till everybody comes and gets him.
Chris, I think it's his own damn fault that
It
assassin found him.
Yes, it is his own damn fault.
Oh, now Martin's the one who's not paying attention.
I'm paying attention.
Too late.
I'm paying attention. I heard your own damn fault.
But you didn't take
But you didn't say it.
There's so many. I think this is like the most prevalent thing. I think we've stumbled onto something here. Almost everything bad that happens to somebody in a movie, it's their own damn fault.
It seems that way.
They had made different choices.
Pretty good special effects.
Yeah, it was a good practical boat explosion.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, this is his other son. This is Howard State's other son, the Punisher striking back.
Played by the same actor.
Yeah, now he's rocking the skull shirt. The music swelling.
I'm Thomas Jane.
It's kind of a funny scene. He just stares at him and walks away.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to take this movie seriously.
He just blew up his money.
I don't know.
Well, I think the biggest reason it's hard to take it seriously is just John Travolta. There's something about his character. It just doesn't come off very serious.
Like you'll see the next big fight scene, which is kind of like serious but kind of comedic.
This was only 4 years after Battleship Earth, so maybe people hadn't forgotten.
It's after Battleship Earth?
I love that movie.
This is 4 years after. Yeah, Battleship Earth was 2000. Actually, sitting here in the back room of Black Cat Comics, they are actually selling a large, probably almost this is a 10, 11-inch figure of John Travolta in Battleship Earth.
Do you remember Barry Harper was in that?
Turl.
I never saw that movie, and that's a movie it's
a great movie.
I don't think I'm missing out on. Battlefield Earth. Did I say
Battlefield.
Did I say Battleship?
You said Battleship.
Sorry,
I was like Battleship.
I meant Battlefield Earth, not Battleship Earth.
Wasn't there a TV show on it too, or is that something else?
No,
it's Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah,
ESG.
a lot of battles and yes.
I never watched that show.
Battles in space. Battleship Earth.
the
sequel they never made to the Peter Berg Battleship.
So clearly, you only say fucking R movies.
This is rated R.
It clearly has to be R. We've got nudity, intense violence, and the word fuck. So we know this is R.
Yeah.
Saying is pissed. He just lost more of their money.
So, John Travolta. I don't know.
Let's see.
He's had an interesting career.
And
see, now all I hear is him from Battlefield Galactica.
Battlefield. Now we're into Battleship Galactica. Battlefield Galactica.
That is all I hear now when I hear him talk. As you mentioned,
Gattaca.
Battlefield Galactica.
It's sort of hard to take him. I don't know. He's made a lot of bad movies.
Thomas Jane was cut.
Thomas Jane, he probably did bulk up and work out.
Yeah, for this role.
Yeah.
I mean, Punisher's pretty bulk dude half the time. So
now the neighbors are checking in on him again.
Well, they said that. Well, that guy from earlier is in that girl's apartment. And they need his help.
Okay.
Dude,
so,
Ben has never won an Oscar for anything.
I don't know if he's even been nominated.
He's been nominated.
He will someday.
He's been nominated. The later stuff. He has his head shaved. It was a trick. They went and had dinner with him.
Oh, that's fun. My heart
American
was
History X? No.
Man.
I don't know.
Man, I can't. It's later on.
We'll look this up.
Yeah, look that up. Yeah.
So this version of the Punisher is a mute. He doesn't talk. The actual one does say anything and emote more than just emotions. But.
And that's why Batman's and these superhero characters who are very just into themselves and can't connect with humanity and can like do everything by themselves.
Yeah.
On our deepest level as humans, like, we kind of want that in a way, right? We want to be self-sufficient. So, like, when we see these characters who can strive by themselves and not necessarily need that connection with another human being, like, we applaud them and kind of wish we were them, you know?
Do you mean loners? No.
Just think of how many iconic characters are loners.
I think that
Batman's one of them.
Usually, that's the negative.
Usually, yeah.
Usually that's the negative of the character.
World.
Like in the superhero world, like in this thing, I mean, they're trying to like we're family. We're this like weird family. They're trying to get him to come out of his apartment and like join them.
The superhero is generally the loner, but the ongoing theme that we see around him is that he does need help and people want to help them or whatever it is, but they don't want it. Yes, I mean that is the ongoing.
Yeah, they initially don't want it, but
because as consumers, like as viewers of cinema, we're more interested in a character's flaw now, this day and age, than we are of anything else. Like, we don't want a character that's overly, like, happy.
I agree.
We want to watch them struggle and, like, raise up and, like, defeat whatever it is that they need to overcome.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree with that, yeah.
I think people see themselves in the superheroes' flaws, so it helps you relate to them, to say the least.
Which is, I don't understand why Chad hates Man of Steel.
We'll get into that when we watch Man of Steel. We'll get into that.
But is hate the word? Is hate the word? Yeah.
Hate's a strong word.
We'll see. I got to revisit it. Ben Foster has actually never been nominated for an Oscar.
I didn't think so. I don't think he's
You're probably thinking of something like Hell or High Water, which got some Oscar nominations. Right. But no, he's fine. I like him. Yeah. He's always really intense in every movie.
He's very methody, almost. He was really good in 30 Days.
Well, I heard he's methody. Don't quote me on that.
He was on 6 Feet Under back in the day, too.
Oh, yeah. 6 Feet Under.
A lot of stuff over the years.
I don't know why I said that like that. I mean, I did see 6 Feet Under, but it was a good show.
So, do you think it ruins the character more, Ryan, that he doesn't talk as much as he does in the comics? Kind of like how they muted Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine when he's supposed to be talking.
I'm not saying he's like a conversationalist, but he like doesn't talk at all.
But he wasn't like known for his wit in the comics like Deadpool probably. Or did he always have like a good one-liner as he like blew someone away?
No.
So I mean, okay, from the things he had, I mean, he wasn't known for one-liners, but he would say stuff. It was more like. You know, you're being punished, or you're going down, or stuff like that. He would, I mean, more creative. The writers are being.
You cannot say that before he kills
You're being punished.
I don't know about that, Jerry Conway.
No, not. I'm not quoting verbatim. I'm just saying in that general, he would say stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I just think it's very interesting the way they portray him in the movie because for the most part, he just seems like he just doesn't talk at all, and that's.
Well, if you lost everything you loved and you were just angry and on a revenge bender, like you'd be quiet and brooding and just pissed off at the world. And
not the Punisher that we get in the Marvel Daredevil series, but
I
really feel like they really got more true to the heart of the character in that TV show. But,
yes, I agree.
I think on the level of take the comic book side away and what you're actually experiencing in the movie, I agree with you. I think someone would maybe be like that as well.
I don't see BB-8 sitting on their coffee table.
I can't really tell. Like a pre-BB-8.
Something. It's a orangish and white round sphere.
This reminds me of the girl who liked Peter Parker.
Mary Jane?
And
Stacy?
The little... Let me talk. the little skinny Russian-looking girl from Spider-Man 2. Who had a crush on her.
Well, she's in all the Spider-Mans, but yes, right. Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, she's in every single one of them.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Are you talking about the girl who in Spider-Man Homecoming who was like doing the morning announcements like that?
No, I'm talking about the Tobey Maguire. And anytime I reference Spider-Man, I'm talking about the one we
grew
up on.
Whoa, okay, now
Kevin Nash.
Waldo showed up at his door.
This is the Russian.
That's Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash, the Russian.
That's
but he's
Diesel.
wearing like a Waldo shirt, red and white stripe.
Well, because he's Russian, that's what made him look funny like
that. He was a WWE wrestler, right?
And WCW. Well, I guess there's all WWE.
Okay, you guys who know more about wrestling can just talk more. Did he have a name, like a character name?
Diesel and Kevin Nash.
Was that Diesel?
That's Diesel.
Wow. Oh, he's huge. All right, Ryan, tell us about the character of the Russian.
I was going to get to it. I wanted to let you guys keep using your time.
Diesel, if WWF, he was the champion before he went over to WCW and became Kevin Nash, his real name, because Vince McMahon likes to steal, and you can't use the name that you were given, obviously, in another wrestling organization to go to the next. So Kevin Nash used his real name. which is Kevin Nash.
Wait, he was a champion? Like he won, or he was known as the champion?
He was a champion in WWF,
okay.
and then he went over to WCW. Oh my god!
But he was never like a hero in wrestling, right? He was always kind of
he was. Villain. Oh, definitely. He was one of the first anti-heroes. Like this craze we have of anti-heroes who we can root for. I think Kevin Nash and what he represented in the wrestling community was exactly that.
I thought he was like one of the NWO.
He was.
Well,
he was one of the founding members.
Yeah, they were like the villains of the
wrestling. Yes, they were villains, but they were also anti-heroes as well. There's a lot of people who rooted for them. More people came to watch wrestling in that era to watch the bad guys, the NWO.
How are they heroes, though, in the anti-hero version of that? Like, that's what I don't get.
They were heroes against like the establishment of like the good guy, the Hulk Hogan, like the eat your Wheaties. Like even when you go back to WWF, what Stone Cold did, like fight against the man, fight against your boss. Like,
all right, I just kind of was watching the movie and I tuned back into you guys. Are you still talking about wrestling?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
My goodness.
You didn't watch it.
There's a lot of
like I was saying earlier, like Kevin Nash is he's not the original Drax, but like. What's his face?
Right, I was thinking that would Dave Bautista play this role nowadays.
Right, Bautista would have played this role for sure.
The beginning of Blade Runner 2049, he kind of played that role. He had to fight Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling at the beginning of that and throw him through walls and.
Right.
But I mean, I think people like Dave. He was supposed to be kind of a sympathetic character because he was a replicant who had gotten tracked down. He was trying to live a quiet life. Whereas you need just a goon. Like people love Dave Bautista too much now after like Guardians of the Galaxy playing Drax and stuff.
This is back where the wrestlers weren't that great of actors, so they
they just had to put on like that goes back to the James Bond days, like of the henchmen like Jaws and these other big hulking dudes who didn't have to really speak.
Yeah, Bautista is great too because he's like the autistic community really got behind Drax's character too. I don't know if you guys know about that.
No. This scene here, because it's this big fight scene, it's kind of like supposed to be light a little bit because he's doing it to this music that they're in the other room, the neighbors are in the other room, not hearing this fight because they're playing the music.
Right. Classic juxtaposition, really violent scene against like really like kind of opera, like Italian opera,
But this is another case of everyone they know where he's at. Why don't they just send an entire hit squad? Why are they sending one assassin? The center hit squad, take him out. Doesn't make any sense. They should have did that before the first guy.
They sent Howard Heck, and he was like the first assassin version. So I agree with you. But this guy is more, I think, of a closer than Howard was. Clearly, I guess.
But I mean, they know where he's at.
Sent him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Chris. Like they sent an entire squad to kill everyone on the beach, knowing damn well nobody on the beach would have been able to fight back. Send another squad to destroy him, but then we wouldn't have a movie, right?
So what's the Russians? What's the Russians? Oh, that's violent. He just got boiling grease all over his face. So what do we know about the Russian and his backstory?
So the Russian is once again he's a part of the Nucci family, which is what the Saints are loosely based off of from the comic books. He's a part of that mafioso, and he's actually a human cyborg. So
what?
He is a human cyborg.
Is that hinted at in this? I don't think.
I don't believe he's. I think he's just a thug.
I don't think there's any cyborg evidence.
He feels semi-superhuman. I will say in this scene, the way he gets stabbed in the heart and just kind of shoves it off.
He's all muscle though.
So, he's just very muscle bound. But he's his first appearance was in Punisher Volume 5, number 8 in 2000, which. As I've explained in the 2000, past...
2000, so he was like brand new when this movie came out.
Yeah, I mean, and Volume 5, I mean, he came much later than... and even in the first, when he got his own series, essentially. But, so that's the backstory behind this character to a degree.
Cool.
He's just a muscle, He's not there's probably not a lot of depth to the character, but he's just...
Yeah, he's dead. He's dead already. He wasn't in this movie
didn't last that long.
Didn't need to last long.
Well, now the neighbors definitely know he's up to stuff because they busted into their apartment fighting. They saw him kill him. There's holes in the walls that they fell through. Blood everywhere. It's a mess.
One of my favorite... He just takes the bottle of liquor. As a kid, like one of the biggest moments for me for a superhero film was when that superhero finally revealed his identity. So I remember
the end of Iron Man?
Iron Man, Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Every time the mask is off.
Yeah.
And so it's cool here to watch Punisher finally... And we talked about this earlier, like we want that hero to go through whatever journey he has to and make it out alive. Like, we see that these characters around him want to positively influence him somehow. So we're, as consumers and as audience members, like, it's so cool to watch him. The veil's down now. He's being vulnerable, but at the same time, they know how much of a badass he is. So it's cool to watch.
Do people know of the concept of the Punisher at this point? Like, it's not like a famous. You know, I mean, the public in those movies knew who Iron Man was, knew who Spider-Man was, knew who Batman was, whatever. And so when that was revealed, it was like a big deal. But like, Punisher isn't like like. Does anybody know that's
Iron Man was just unpopular as him. Iron Man was a B character.
Right. No. I mean, in the world of the movie, like, so when Iron Man revealed, the public in the movie knows who Iron Man is, but then Tony Stark reveals himself. Like, here, it's like you're saying the neighbors now know who he really is, but like unless they had heard on the news, like, a mysterious vigilante known as the Punisher has been going around killing people, and they're like, "Oh, you're the Punisher," but I don't think they had.
No. They saw the news.
So they did the news.
Okay. When he went out and like went in front of the news reporters, there was a big news report with the TV screens.
But they don't know his superhero name.
No one's actually said. No one says.
I think that's like the last line.
Well, he's not one, he's not a superhero, but two, like, your identity is a very personal thing. So regardless if it's the whole world knowing what you do versus 3 people knowing what you do, that's still something you hold very much on the inside.
I honestly think he doesn't really care in this movie. Like, he's so focused on, like we said, he's not taking a lot of precautions to prevent these assassins to keep coming after him.
Well, see, that part I find as a problem with the movie, because he should be doing that. He's been calculated in these like plans.
He's been trained in these military like.
Right, like, I understand that he has nobody to protect, so there's no reason why he hides his identity.
Yeah,
most people have their identity to protect their lives, to protect their loved ones.
But he should protect his identity. Because these assassins who are going to get sent after him, he probably knows that he can defeat them, but like, they're still going to slow him down in his quest to get his revenge.
Well, he should protect his location.
Yeah.
They shouldn't know where he's at.
That's why, like the best advice, Bruce Wayne gave Joseph Gordon-Robin was always wear a mask. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's a newer version from the 2000s.
Joseph Robin-Levitt. He wear a mask. It's not for you. It's for everyone else. Your loved ones around you. Yeah, that was a great piece of advice.
And I mean, and as far as secret identities in movies, a lot of them, especially DC does a lot. They do that. That's been kind of the theme with Batman and Superman. Marvel's I feel like is one of those. Blade was one of those too, where he's just out there, but he was never in the open in the first place. He stayed in the dark. This guy is out there. He's like, I'm Frank Castle, and we don't know he's doing all these murders, but they pretty much suspect it.
I see.
Yeah.
Like, but I just feel like in this movie, him being smarter. Once he knew one assassin came after him, he should have changed locations.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Pack up your guns.
Right, especially knowing there's people here that could get hurt.
Right, he might cause all these other people around him, innocent people, to get killed again.
But he doesn't care about that, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, at first he doesn't, but he kind of like...
Doesn't this, the larger neighbor here with the black hair, doesn't he kind of look like the guy from Beetlejuice?
Oh, I see it. I see that.
I don't know.
Let me look at him
again. The larger guy. Yeah. It's not.
But when does someone not look a lot like other characters?
I know. I've been thinking that since.
Dude, I didn't recognize Ben Foster until you said so. I'm like, oh wow, that is Ben Foster.
Yeah, I forgot he was in this. Like, I think of Ben Foster as one of the greatest actors of our time that chooses the roles that he wants to choose. But here, it seems like he had to choose roles to get that notoriety that he needed to choose the roles that he wanted to choose.
Well, the thing is, this role is he's this kind of like awkward drug kind of addict, kind of recovering. He's a I guess so outskirts of a character and out. So it's not just a regular guy. Yeah. He probably saw something in this character.
Right.
He hasn't done many leading roles, has he?
No,
nothing that I can think of. I think
he's
that's an interesting
supporting guy, but he's
I wouldn't call him one of the greatest actors of our time.
Character.
I would.
He's a good solid supporter.
I would
really
give him
intense. I think he gets really into it. He's great to watch.
I think he has more range than. I think he has one of the best ranges we've seen.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gotten any more.
Are we about to watch a really painful scene where each of his piercings get pulled out one by one?
Yeah, but I don't recall if they show it.
This won't be as fun as the popsicle scene. Oh boy!
Well, this is the difference.
I have no piercings, and I have no intention to ever get one, and this is not. This is not making me change my mind.
Right.
So apparently, like I said, Ben Foster, those were pretty much all fake piercings, except he actually had a real piercing in his eyebrow.
Did he?
So for this scene where he's going to use the pliers to pull it out of his eyebrow, they actually had to create a prosthetic eyebrow.
Oh.
That he pulls out here.
And
which
my
is
eyebrow
going to happen, and oh god, this is more painful than watching someone get shot. Oh god.
Oh.
Have you ever had?
They didn't really show it, but the sound effect.
Yeah.
In 04, I think I had my eyebrow piercing was 3 years before this.
You had an eyebrow piercing?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It hurt, man. Not the worst pain. The worst pain is my cartilage up here in my top of my ear.
I didn't realize you had all these piercings.
I had 9. No, I had 7 in my face.
No, not for me.
Yeah.
No thanks. Oh god. Oh, I feel this pain.
It's like.
Oh no, he's doing the nose next. Oh Jesus. Okay, they cut away.
He takes one from time.
I could feel that's. Really that's one of those. You just feel that in the pit, the pain.
So you know now that Frank Castle, he's going to see this person who tried to be his friend, but he pushed him away. You're going to see Frank now. That's the turning point for him, right?
Oh yeah, it's been slowly, but yeah.
Someone close to him is going to get hurt. Protecting him now, that's going to choose him to go for the edge again, right? Well, he's been over that.
He's been going against, but this is when he gets super violent. It's when you start seeing him kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't really seen him. I mean, you see him kill these guys, the assassins.
Still didn't kill as many as Superman did, but
oh no,
but
not yet. The movie's not over. That's the wife going to the movies.
Was that
this
a Man
Thursday.
of Steel reference?
It was.
We'll get to it.
That's Superman
at some point.
Whoever they're called.
I think that's John Travolta's real hair.
I do.
It might be.
Maybe we have never seen John Travolta's real hair since
Who
Grease.
knows?
I love the way they enter from here. It feels like they just did something.
Entrance.
Oh yeah, he stands up. There's lightning crashing. The music's swelling. It's a little over.
They look
the
for
top.
clout.
Oh yeah, no, it was a little.
It's a little.
That was a super.
Because he stands up first, and then she's still down, and then she comes up. It's not that deep of an elevator.
I love how he was just
turns on any lights in his apartment.
He's a vampire. I love how he was like limping a second ago and barely could walk. Now he's just
now he's full
standing up straight.
Yeah. He's motivated.
Why does he have a giant paper? Is this his apartment?
Yeah.
Why does he have a giant paper cutter?
He's got to cut paper eventually.
We don't even have one that big in our office at work. What's he even have room for?
Well, but back then paper cutters were that big.
He's doing some art.
Yeah.
This is. That's. He just split that dude's skull in two.
It's always the third act, like coming into the third act where we want the most violent, right?
That's when the shit's gonna hit the fan.
The thing is, but it's justified now. It's justified. He's protecting.
Like a younger version of him.
He's protecting the innocent.
Right. We need a lot of innocence around him in order to validate him as someone who can do violence.
Right. Well, he already has the base, and then the base with all his family, and then you have these things to add to the movie.
And Foster's bloodied up, and no piercings left.
Yeah.
Can you those of you who watch the Punisher show, is there as much connection here? Like, I feel like I'd see more connection here in this film with characters, like ancillary characters that are around him, versus what we would see in the show. Yes or no?
In the show, it goes a lot more deeper.
Does it?
Yeah. It's not just as simple as. His main motivation is that, but it's not just his main motivation is his family getting killed, so he becomes the Punisher. But he actually tries to do justice. And he protects innocent people and stuff, but he doesn't. He's not hanging around innocent people and putting them in danger.
Right.
So how does his family? Did we talk about how does his family get killed in the comics?
He was a Vietnam veteran.
They're murdered by a mafia.
Yeah. Yes, it's mafia, and
similar.
And it's just a mother and daughter. It's not the entire
Oh yeah. They really upped the notch. His dad and all the other guests.
Everyone on the island.
It was his mom and two sons. in the comics. Yeah,
so two sons.
Two sons. Okay.
For some reason,
Not
they
daughter,
felt the
sons.
need to only give him one son in this. I don't know why. They could just do two sons, but
Well,
I guess they didn't have the
budget-
budget for the
budget,
extra
yeah.
son.
The budget.
Unfortunately.
You know, that's extra squibs. That's extra, like, you know, blood packs. You know, hey.
You'll have so many squibs.
I mean, they did have one actor once again portray two sons for the same. So
Yeah.
I guess they really didn't have the budget to do something. But no, I mean, look, even in the Marvel Punisher series, there is the theme of him having close relationships with at least someone. I mean, they build around the characters, to say the least. I mean, I think it's what's her name from the Daredevil series?
Yeah, from Daredevil series. I'm not trying to ruin, but like, it's
Electra?
No.
No,
If you watch the Daredevil series,
No.
then sure, you're not gonna
No
know
answer.
she's not one of the heroes. She's a character in this show.
Yeah.
But well, if you watch True Blood, if you ever watch True Blood,
She was in that as well.
the redhead, the young
Jessica.
vampire, Jessica.
She was
Dang,
Jessica.
I
In
guess
True
not.
Blood.
Yeah, so we're talking about him, you know, the identity and stuff like that. Yeah, he doesn't even try. I don't think he cares. He's not because he's not wearing a mask. He's not obscuring his face in any way. He's just out doing what he's gonna do, and
He's a
he wants the bad guys to know that he's after them.
Oh yeah, well
So,
he did it first when
Right.
he left the gravestone right on his golf course. He's like, I'm coming after you.
Right, but there's another approach you could take. You could do more like surgical kind of.
I believe that should have been the approach.
Kind of take out, yeah.
You can take Bruce Wayne's approach.
Because it's worse when you have too much attention on you, which we can see it's already come back to bite him a few times here.
I'm sorry, the police would have actually come in and stopped this. They know about the death. They would have at least questioned him and pulled him in for questioning.
But we don't live in reality in these movies. We live in comic book movies, so things don't go as planned or as normal.
But no, the whole idea is him doing it in the dark and no one knows where he's at.
Right.
But my problem is that everyone seems to know where he's at.
How many day scenes? There's probably like 7 day scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
Everything else is
It
night.
is mostly night. It's a very dark movie, definitely.
It's funny. Frank, the Punisher, manages to get this guy over to his side by more or less. I mean, he does torture him a little bit, but fake torture. But he just gets him to feel like he's annoyed with the way he's been treated by the Saints. Last I recall, he was partially responsible for his son dying, and it seems like he's fine. He's got a job, a nice car, Like, I don't know why he felt like...
Well, no, they've been treating him like shit.
I guess.
He was about to get killed, but then he didn't kill him. But then they constantly treat him like shit. They tell him, they kick him, they pretty much. And then when he got tortured, Castle turned him. He's actually working for Castle right now.
Yes, the motivation behind him was just a little iffy for me.
But I
need to pay attention to these movies more. I didn't know any of that happened.
When he fake tortured him after the torture, he said, "Listen, if you want to get out from under him, you don't tell me anything because you don't want to be a lackey for him." And he says that he hates them, and that's when he starts telling them everything. That's why
you were catching all the dialogue in this movie. I'm like, I'm listening to you guys so much. Like I'm not even. You're like absorbing. You can multitask, or you have just much better hearing than me. Oh my god. Yeah, or you're not paying attention to anything else that the other three of us are saying.
That's why I watch it for the story. Hey.
He does. That's true. He does watch for the story.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that makes a superhero movie effective instead of just being some comic book I guess bank check, a big budget thing. You add a story, you add some empathy to the characters, you add some realism, you add to the whole thing to make regular people relate.
Mm-hmm. I think a really good producer. Chris knows what you need to make a big budget film. I just remember I remember I just imagine being in a film in a room and pitch meeting with Chris. Where's the story?
Where's the story?
I'm here for one reason.
Let's see.
Come on, Howard.
He finds that earring, which
Come on, Howard. You know the Punisher's back. You really think all of this is just happening? Come on.
He finds the earring and is thinking, why isn't this in a case in my wife's car right now?
Right. I know he's not going to wear it.
The thing is, he also said that he's jealous. One of the things he told him is that he's really jealous of his wife. The very first scene that you see them, he tells this
Chris,
guy to
can you
dance
stop
with him.
squashing everything that I'm annoyed with? God damn it!
I mean, no, there's other things to be annoyed with. Definitely. All right.
Stop being so right about everything.
Stop paying attention to the
Stop
actual
watching the
plot and
movie.
dialogue of the movie. God.
You justify everything.
If it wasn't for you, I would have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
Right, Chris is
Well,
like
thank you.
the tree keeping this story alive.
Right.
This actually is a pretty gruesome death. It's kind of cool.
So,
Knife
is
and all.
he gay in this?
Yes.
Got it. I don't know why I remember that, but I do.
John Travolta's
And John
character
Travolta.
is?
No.
Oh no, the other.
No,
okay.
we're not talking about real life. We're talking.
Well,
Allegedly. Don't sue us.
Low blow.
whoa.
No, his character, but he's kept it a secret.
Boy, this movie has well-timed thunder and lightning.
It does.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
You can only do so much of that before it becomes cheesy.
It
hasn't become cheesy yet, though.
No, it has. I think
Has
it
it?
has. Yeah,
It has. Oh, okay.
they've done it a couple times already.
I mean, there's a couple of things that are a little hokey, I think, but and that's why I feel the tone changes a little bit. Where I feel like Warzone, even though I think Warzone is not as good of a movie,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
God,
tone,
horrible.
the tone is very Warzone.
Yeah.
Punisher's going after the mafia. He's
Right,
going
right.
after.
Now the sequel is just like it's kind of a reboot.
Yeah.
It's obviously different people, but they just probably start all over with why he became the Punisher and everything.
Well, no, they don't do it. They
don't,
you know him
okay.
already, but it's kind of like what they did with Spider-Man. They just
Well,
they
in
just jump you
the
in.
TV
They
show,
jump you in.
do they start at the beginning of the TV show and show his family
Yeah.
getting killed? and
Well,
everything?
yeah,
Okay.
because it starts as a side story in Daredevil 2.
Okay.
So it's a side story in Daredevil 2.
Gotcha.
and
So
so,
back we were talking about this last time. Backdoor pilot.
Yeah.
They probably
Exactly.
they know that they're going to be making a Punisher show, and Daredevil's popular. You sneak in Daredevil into their. I mean, kind
Well,
of
that's
like
the plan,
a pre-crossover, but it's also like a backdoor pilot. You get a
Yeah.
little bit of his story there, and then he launches his own show.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember
Yeah.
that? That just
Good
makes you
character.
think like, did Marvel did they know what was going to happen in 4 years? This is what 2004, so they were shooting in 2003, probably wrap production in 2003 somewhere. Like 2003, 4, 5, 6, 3 to 4 years later, they were shooting Iron Man.
All right.
Like, what was known about what the
I don't know,
Marvel
I mean, I think Iron
universe
Man
was going
and
to
the
be?
whole MCU did take a few years to get off the ground. They were probably
Yeah.
planning that for a while. They've been trying to get an Iron Man. I think we probably talked about this during Iron Man, but they tried to get one off the ground. No pun intended. In the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
Yeah,
but they probably were planting the seeds for the early MCU. I'm sure, Kevin Feige and the rest were. They're only a couple of years away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think they had a grand scheme to plan for the MCU. It's just that they did the first Iron Man. They did those couple ones to see if they could build off. But I think it was a
This
plan
probably
altogether.
didn't raise Marvel's confidence, though.
No.
Well, no, but this is
Box office prospects, but
right. But this is obviously they sold these movie rights
right.
back when they
Yes.
were going bankrupt, and they worked with the movie rights they had left
Yes.
to characters they couldn't sell, like Iron Man, and and then they got the other ones back, like.
So do they? I wonder if they have the. I'm not 100% sure if they have the film rights back for Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
No, they have it all.
Lionsgate's still around. Okay, so I didn't know if they just got the TV rights. Okay,
No, they
so
have.
that must have reverted back.
They just decide which one they're gonna make for TV and which one they're gonna make for film.
I see.
It's interesting when you really think about it because everyone knows Superman and Batman and even more famous are Wonder Woman, but in the Marvel world, from a non-comic book perspective, a non-superhero person as far as what you're into, like Iron Man really wasn't that big of a deal. Like you didn't really talk about it too much.
He wasn't. No,
he wasn't.
not at all.
That's what's interesting about it. I mean, they chose. Like when you think Marvel, you really just think Spider-Man,
right.
and that's kind of it. So they really took a bit of a gamble trying to get some of these lesser known characters into the mainframe, but they did a great job.
Well, you think Spider-Man, you think X-Men.
Well,
The
no,
main-
the thing is,
mainstream,
the X-Men,
you said
yes.
into the main frame.
But the thing is,
Mainstream.
the X-Men, when X-Men came out, it was a risk,
Yeah.
and it was. I mean, on top of doing an ensemble movie,
Right.
They were popular,
Yeah.
but they weren't like Superman level, Spider-Man, Superman level.
Yeah. For if you asked a person who had no knowledge of comic books or anything, even probably who the X-Men were back then before those movies,
Yeah.
they probably wouldn't know. Captain America, actually, that's another big one.
Right.
Everyone knows Captain America just because Golden Age and World War II and propaganda. But yeah, no, I mean they did a great job getting these characters into the mainstream. Thank you.
No, like I said, I didn't. Like I've said before, I pretty much know nothing about these characters until I see the movies. Then
100%.
He's just like,
goodbye.
Off
the bridge. Wife to the bridge.
He just threw his wife off the bridge because he suspected of cheating.
Yikes.
Jesus, Travolta.
Well, hey, this is what makes him worse than the Punisher. Therefore,
yeah.
Come on, you can crawl off that.
And
oh my God! As if falling off a high bridge was enough, then she had to get run over by a train. I just assumed she died when she hit the ground.
Yeah,
he had to time that. He's like, all right, 7:35, the next train's coming.
That just reminded me of. I just watched Baby Driver again recently. Isn't it John Bernthal?
Yes.
Bernthal who plays the Punisher tells the joke in Baby Driver. The scene reminded me of why did the Mexican guy throw the...
John Bernthal is in Baby Driver?
Yes,
he is. John Hamm?
They're both in it.
Yeah, both in it.
I forget who tells the joke. I think... Oh, no, never mind. It's Jamie Foxx tells the joke. But
okay.
Why did the Mexican guy throw his wife off the cliff?
Right.
Tequila.
Tequila.
That's when they're playing the song Tequila.
Right.
And it's like,
Tequila.
why did the Mexican guy throw his wife off the cliff? Oh, he's like, I just ruined the joke or whatever. But yeah, hey, that's connected because guy throwing a wife off a bridge and John Bernthal, who plays the Punisher, is in Baby Driver.
I think we just found Chad's new...
There we go.
I think we just found the Resident Movie Nerd's new episode lead thing. He has to do like a 6 degrees of
separation
Bacon.
or something. Well, you can connect anything to anything, but yeah, there's some fun roundabout connections to when you do stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you did last time. You did like the Beer of the Week was the guy from.
That was really obvious.
Actually, I'll give you that one though.
That was pretty obvious. It was like a Mad Men beard, and he knew John Slattery, who was on Mad Men.
I was a little closer than this one.
It's still a connection.
We want this. We want this every episode.
That's too far removed.
Movie nerd.
All right, I can do it.
Okay,
do it. I bet you.
Yeah, 7 degrees
through those synapses as I connect the dots.
And what's nice is even though you don't have an Instagram, you can use ours, Capes and Trees.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's use yours. Give me your login.
Got him.
And now he's broke them.
Yeah,
they're all pissed off.
This is where the violence starts to really go down.
Ooh, was that an arrow?
Yeah.
So he's Hawkeye now? Punisher's running around with a bow and arrow shooting people like Hawkeye.
He's got a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he's trained. Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's a one-man Avengers.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's Black Widow and Hawkeye.
He kind of is, actually.
He's like hulked up like Hulk.
No, he's not.
He's,
I don't think he's hulked up.
He's he's got a lot of stuff at his disposal, so he's Iron Man. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think
I'm waiting for the Thor one.
I know, yeah.
He probably hit somebody. He didn't hit somebody with a hammer yet? No.
Ooh, that's straight through the neck.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
he has the arrow because he needs to be quiet right now.
This did a lot for the...
Is he home aloneing this building right now?
Yeah.
in the most violent way.
He's like rigging up booby traps. Okay.
Yes.
Come and get me.
See, that's the thing. The guy is discalculated, but he's sitting at home waiting for assassins to come get him.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I mean. He's smart, but then you're gonna just sit at home after they know where you're at. You would change locations, go into the Batcave. Or whatever the Punisher's cave would be called.
The Punisher's dark
garage.
Dark apartment.
The garage with his vent.
Yeah.
That's like the longest line he has in the movie, coming right up.
Yeah.
Seriously. I'm wondering who had more lines. No, Judge Dredd definitely had more lines.
Oh, yeah, Judge Dredd.
Wait, the newer one or the older one?
Both of them.
No, wait, that's
the newer one had a lot more lines.
What's up?
That's based on the comic book, right?
Oh, yeah.
So can we do Judge Dredd on this?
We absolutely can, yeah.
Judge Dredd and Dredd.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, man, I can't. I love Dredd.
I actually like the newer one. I know it didn't do well, but I enjoyed it.
I like the newer one too, yeah.
Oh, he's actually kind of like almost die-harding this thing right now.
Yeah.
No, very much so.
I have a machine gun, like...
Yeah.
There we go, taking out all the guys.
You'll see that kill the die-hard bad guy lookalike.
Oh yeah, that guy's in there.
He's in there.
There's not a lot of score here, No,
I
mean there's something we're listening to right now. Finally, but I don't remember any type of score before this for at least a good 20 minutes.
Moody, yeah.
No, it's been barely any score.
This feels like Terminator. doesn't it? Listen to music.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, not quite that, but yeah, similar.
God, do you remember seeing that Terminator 2 scene as a kid? Of him
No,
with that Gatling gun?
That as a kid.
You didn't watch it as a kid?
That's a scary movie. When
Terminator 2 or 2?
Yeah,
scary.
It's more sci-fi.
We were
than
5
horror.
years old when that movie came out. That's a scary movie for
That
a 5-year-old.
was a scary
It's
movie.
rated R.
That
Is a rated R
92?
movie. A 5-year-old should not.
That was
be
92.
91. Summer 91.
Was it?
Yes.
We were
We were
6.
almost 6.
We were 6.
We were like 5.5.
I just saw it at 7 then, or 8. I don't know.
Nah. Scary.
Oh, I love the way this guy dies. So
Ooh.
he puts a knife in his mouth and he starts singing.
Oh, I remember that.
After he's already been shot in the stomach?
Correct. Or I think it was in the foot.
Yeah, this guy has to be punished.
Oh, a knife in the hand.
Oh, this is...
It's got a little...
Is this the death you were talking about? The guy makes a weird...
No, that's Howard.
Oh, my
See,
God.
that's
pretty violent.
Yeah.
It's
That's so violent.
It's violent. This is rated R.
I never want my kid to watch this ever.
No, right?
It's like my toes are curling right now.
Actually, it was the ripping out the piercings was the worst. So far that.
And boom, he ain't make it. I think if that guy kept going, if he kept going, he could have got out.
Don't
your own downfall.
Don't look up at the bombs.
It's your own
Like
damn
what?
fault.
Oh,
Your own
snaps.
damn fault.
Your own damn fault for not jumping.
I'm running
This
when
is
I see a
so
bomb.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
They're like Pepper Potts standing next
Yeah.
to
Standing next
Yeah.
to the bleach lights.
That was her own damn
staring at
fault.
it. She was staring at that for like 30 seconds.
Yeah. That was her own damn fault.
Run, Pepper. That was in Iron Man 2.
The last one we did.
You saw it the last weekend? I mean,
That
last week.
technically
Last
dropped
week.
today, but we're in an
last
alternate
week.
universe right now.
So do you think Frank Castle, after he goes on a killing spree like this, goes home, does he throw the skull shirt into the wash? Or does he want to keep the blood of his enemies caked onto it and
That's
put it
a-
on
It's
to
like-
evoke fear
I
every
think he
time?
makes a new shirt.
It's like Liam Neeson
But
telling
that
his son, keep the blood on the blade
Yeah.
in Gangs of New York.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, like, that shirt's going to smell after a while. Like, you got all sorts of different people's blood. It's going to be gross.
Yeah, I think.
No, he doesn't make it because that one's special to him because that's the shirt his son bought him. So he's not going to make a new one. Right?
So you
I don't
can...
know.
Oh, that's great. It's Terminator 2. Did the same thing.
He attached an explosive to his hand.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think I can hold this forever.
Yeah.
The
It's like something out of Saw.
Yeah, that seems.
No,
I don't
that's definitely Terminator 2.
Well, you're right. He's,
Right, Chris?
It's
Yeah.
not. It's
Oh,
not
is
that.
it?
It's not that he forces
No.
him to hold it, but there's the scene where
this-
the dude who's from Cyberdyne, who's trying to help them out, he's
Yeah.
like holding on to it, but not intentionally, and then it blows up. Right?
Yeah.
It's
Who's
very similar.
also
It is very similar.
DC's the dad and the for what's his face from Suicide Squad.
I killed your other son.
Who's the black dude? It's not Cyborg. Is it Cyborg? DC.
what's
the
DC
yes,
Cyborg.
from Justice League. He is
Justice
the father
League,
of
yeah.
Cyborg. That's correct.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So now we're actually getting a scene with Thomas
That's right.
Jane and John Travolta together. Actually, they were both in Face Off together in 1997.
Thomas
Woo's
Jane
Face
was?
Off, but they did not share any scenes together.
Who was
Okay.
TJ?
He was like
Would've been a small role.
I think he was one of the prisoners, right?
Of course he was.
Oh, that
It
makes.
it
I
takes
think I
place.
kind of
I've
remember.
only seen that movie once. It takes place in a prison, right?
Oh,
No,
jeez.
for a second. For a second.
I feel like we need to create another podcast that's just like the
Oh.
films you haven't seen. We can have so much fun
Well,
with
there's
that.
an awful lot of movies out there.
So this is a pretty good resolution right here. I mean, he's
Right.
to the whole movie pretty much. He's loading it all on to John as he's down. He's kicking him while he's down. He's telling him everything he did to him.
He's monologuing.
He's monologuing.
He's
Yes.
monologuing. You got a monologue.
We're finally getting the
How
Punisher
come?
now.
Okay, how come in movies? I mean, I know why, but this is just a observation I was just thinking of. The good guys always get to monologue and they win, right? They
Yeah.
monologue with the bad. Every time you see a bad guy
Bad guy monologues
monologuing,
and dies.
it's enough of a pause to create to allow someone else to swoop in and defeat the bad
There
guy.
it goes.
Except for Watchmen.
So I just want you guys to witness
Alright.
what I was telling you about. This is the scene that's about to come up right now. Just listen to John Travolta's character. I'm sorry. That is.
He does make some. There was
Have
some
you ever
pretty
been
weak
dragged by
ways
a
being
car,
dragged
Ryan?
by a car, and he's going
dragon.
It was a little strange.
Thank you. Chad.
Oh man,
It's not. Oh,
Nah,
walking
they
away
did
from the
that for
explosion,
effect,
not
right?
even looking.
this is
Wait, this is over. Wait, this is a lot. The whole parking lot's blowing up, and now he's catching.
He's still making the noise if you want to hear it.
Oh, this is cheesy.
I mean,
he sounds like Free Willy.
Why did every car blow up?
Because he's making a sign.
He set bombs at the beginning on all the cars.
Because he pulled a Dark Knight Rises on when Batman did that Batman sign on the Brooklyn, not the Brooklyn Bridge. I guess the bridge in general.
The bridge, yeah.
I don't know if it's a Brooklyn Bridge.
It looks like.
How would he know? How would he know it would look like the Punisher symbol from the air?
That's what.
Oh, come on! Are you kidding me?
So all the cars that were blown up look like a Punisher. Exactly.
Did he that would take weeks of planning. He'd have to paint the tops of the
cars,
go up, check from the top of a building. They didn't have drones back then. He could just pilot around.
He's had weeks to do this. He knew what he was going to do.
Okay, why can Batman do it and he can't?
Why
can
Batman do it and he can't? Just to have it done.
Where do you think Batman stole it from?
What, he's like doing the Nazca lines in Peru that the ancient only readable from the air, which is tied to the ancient.
Well, that's for the effect of the movie, obviously.
But come on, all right, this movie lost me now.
Just for that one
moment. It lost you at the very end. Well, so it had you for most of the movie.
I don't know. Right, it had you for almost.
I don't know.
Oh, it's even goofier about that is beyond the fact of how did he do it? Why? So who got to see that?
Who got to see that? Exactly.
Yeah, he did it for us.
Who got to
all right.
see that?
He did it for the viewer.
Somebody who happened to be on a rooftop.
Well,
nearby.
two. I mean, just kill that guy. Why he made this spectacle?
Don't do it.
That's the thing.
Why would you want him to take himself out?
Because in the story, I mean, he does this. He does it to revenge his family. After he does it,
there's nothing else for him to live for.
Yeah. There's
always something more to live for.
Well, and that's what the character becomes. He becomes this person that fights for justice and tries to fight for the innocent. But he doesn't he'll kill a person though.
Yeah.
but that's the good thing about the Daredevil 2 season, where you have Daredevil, they're both of them are trying to be good guys, but his philosophy versus to Daredevil's philosophy. I will kill him to stop him. You gotta do it without killing him, and then and that's a battle. So
there's a big emphasis on lightning and thunder in this movie.
There is.
There really is.
It was thunder that kind of pushed him to not kill himself.
Well, Florida, there's probably a lot of thunderstorms.
Yeah, I guess
and it was also the bottle of liquor, and that right there tackled so many of the problems that we're facing here in the United States now: mental health and abuse from alcohol. Mm-hmm. He just said "fuck you" to both of those things. God, I love that. Memories. That makes me love this movie even more. Watching the last few minutes.
Right. Well, you do love movies like After Earth and other bad movies, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Reminding all capers every time this After Earth.
Whoa! Yeah. I didn't remind anybody that you hadn't seen X-Men.
Martin
Chad
saw After Earth 11 times in the theater.
Yep.
Proud of those 11.
And his favorite movie is The Village.
Proud of that too.
That's even worse.
Proud of The Village too. You just wait. If we're here in 500 years...
You just wait.
You just wait. 500 years from now...
Martin's playing the long game with this, told you so.
One day in the year 30,203, some kid is going to open a bottle in the ground, and it's going to have After Earth in it, and he's going to watch it and realize this is the most amazing movie in the history of
movies. It'll be an alien on some other planet.
It'll be the last movie on Earth.
It'll be the Citizen Kane of some other solar system.
Is that not what art is about?
That is exactly what art is about.
Got him, Shyamalan. We got him.
Are you tagging M. Night Shyamalan on this podcast now?
Oh, there he goes.
No, when we do Unbreakable or something. Then
for sure.
I want to know who the landlord of this place is, though.
Right? I wish you guys pay for rent, too.
It
looks like the electricity's never on.
Right.
It's really run down.
I think it's an abandoned house, and they all just live there.
People, they don't look like they're very high income, so when Frank Castle busted all the holes in their walls, do you think their first thought was, am I getting my security deposit?
Right, yeah.
Seriously, right?
I don't think so.
That would be my main concern.
I think about that every time I throw a party.
So we're getting that very classic hero voiceover right now.
And this is where
to end the movie. Calls himself the Punisher.
It's like Batman standing on top of the building.
This is actually a very epic shot. I mean,
it's a pretty cool shot.
It is really
cool. I like the way it kind of goes
up
and
down. The Punisher. And
I think Josh Bernthal.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Josh or John Bernthal?
John Bernthal.
He's the perfect character to play this role.
He is. He really didn't embody it very well in the movie.
He was Shane in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He was in Baby Driver.
I think a lot of characters, a lot of actors get chosen for movies, and generally there's some division in the ranks of like what people really want. Did they think Heath Ledger was going to make a good Joker? Most people did not.
Right.
No,
I think most people did not. They didn't. Most people were on board right away with John Bernthal for the Punisher on Netflix.
Really?
Everyone was.
He's got that rage in him. He really does,
and he just has a look to him too.
So now we're in
executive producer Kevin Feige.
We're in the credits.
Kevin's everywhere.
Yeah, he's been since the beginning.
Must be like one of the richest guys in Hollywood.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Right?
Yeah.
Look how much every Marvel movie makes $1 billion now. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, no, interesting story though, because when Marvel got the rights back for Punisher, before they decide what they're going to do with it yet, Thomas Jane already turned down because of scheduling issues to do Warzone. That's why they did a reboot with a whole new character. But he actually campaigned to become the Punisher again. He shot his own short film called Dirty Laundry.
Thomas Jane did?
Oh, right. That was like 2012. He funded himself.
2012.
Wow,
it's his own short film that he funded himself, and mainly because it was a pitch to become the Punisher again.
Smart.
Well, you know why?
Marvel got picked up.
He had seen in the last few years what they'd done with the MCU and stuff, and like, I want to get back in on that action.
Yeah.
I wonder if Ryan Reynolds took a page out of that book for when that's how he pitched Daredevil. He did the short film, on YouTube, little short film.
Can we watch these?
Yeah, that was actually
Daredevil.
That's what Fox, and they already had him in Wolverine.
But he did that by himself. That was
there was a visual effects guy who worked in the industry too, and they
but that was Ryan Reynolds himself trying to rally for the role, though. That's what I'm saying. It was interesting that he did.
Well, because he was like, "Hey, I did this before. I can do it again." See, I think Wesley Snipes probably wants to play. He wants to play Blade again.
Yeah, I know he does.
Yeah.
No, Wesley Snipes says he brought. I guess he's brought two scripts to.
He's a little
Netflix.
old for me for Blade.
Is Thomas gonna play?
What?
Is Mr. Jane gonna play the Punisher?
No.
Well, there's nothing in the works for a Punisher.
Well, no, you already have that. Now you have the established.
Well, no, this is before. This is before they decide what they're going to do with it.
Yeah.
Then they decide to make Netflix. They casted John Bernthal. But this is in 2012, Bernthal, right when they.
Bernthal.
You know his name.
John Bernthal.
It was right when they picked up the rights. It's right when Marvel got the rights back and he saw what they were doing, so he's like,
Rebecca Romaine Stamos still got the Stamos thing.
I think we're going to have to hashtag John Bernthal, or that's going to be like part of the description of the next episode. And they tried to figure out how to say his last name. Like,
seriously.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Jonathan Hensley.
Yep. So this director, Jonathan Hensley, he, like I said, he was a screenwriter for some big movies in the '90s, big action movies, and I think this was his first directorial debut, and he has not done too many other movies.
I know the name, it definitely rings a bell.
Yeah, he
goes by Tom Jane. Interesting.
Tom Jane,
Jane. He went by Tom Jane. Yeah,
it's Tommy
J.
Yeah.
TJ.
And John Travolta is second from the bottom.
Oh my god!
In the cast list.
Was it alphabetical order?
I don't think it was. No, it
must have been.
It would make sense.
I mean, it wasn't order of appearance.
It wasn't order of appearance. It was not alphabetical. Yeah, I don't know. That's strange. Well, like I said, he was willing to give up top billing to Thomas Jane, but
I'm sure he wasn't trying to give the extras some of the features.
Well, it's funny because like people watch these credits, they don't know how much goes into these credits. Like the last title for a film before the title of the film has to be the director. You guys remember
the what title?
The last title, like there's all the actors' names are given maybe their own title cards at the very opening, like the last. By DJ Standards,
the opening title.
in the very beginning.
You see that in TV too. The last, it's always written. There's all the producers, then written by like the writers, the directors. That's generally how it goes. A lot of times, a lot of the other order. This is all things that are negotiated into contracts, especially with above the line people.
That makes sense.
Which means like the big names, like the directors, writers, actors, producers. That's all negotiated. When it's going to come, what order, who goes on screen first. And especially even for print, like posters, whose name, the size, or even on screen, also the size on screen, the font, like a lot of that's negotiated.
Right.
Really?
DGA is really gung ho about the last in the opening has to be that director.
They don't even like two. The DGA doesn't like two credited directors.
Yeah, you have to go in front of a council in order to promote your
case.
case.
The Coen brothers are not DGA members, and the Wachowskis and people who direct as tandems. I think the Russo brothers. Don't the Russo brothers run into problems?
I thought they were guild members. I don't know. I could be wrong.
But I think they have to make special exceptions.
Well, yeah, you have to literally go in front of the council and promote your case as we are dual directors because of this reason.
Yes. The Farrelly brothers have had a lot of issues with that too, I think. Yeah.
Really? That's just silly.
And I think there might be other things with like multiple credits. That's why a lot of directors will edit or shoot their own things under pseudonyms. Like Steven Soderbergh shoots all his movies under the cinematographer name of Peter Andrews. The Coen brothers edit all of their movies under a fake editor name. Roderick something. Yeah. It's always the same fake name. But as movie lovers, so keep an eye out for those next time you watch those guys' movies.
Well, Chris,
but there's rules.
You asked like why would someone do that? But just think like I'm a producer. I wanted to be a director when I was younger, but I'm a producer, and I have all this money to make this guy who has an artistic vision. I'm going to say, hey, I give you all this money, but I want to be listed as a director as well. Where this young guy did all of the work. Right. The Directors Guild is just trying to protect that director from getting taken advantage of.
Well, there are different levels for producer. There's executive producer, associate producer, just producer.
Right.
There's all sorts of different levels to that, too, and different things. It depends how involved you were, if you raised money, if you were directly involved in production. It's crazy. It's really crazy business. It gets into a lot of contracts and union rules and guilds. Yeah.
So this song is is a credit scene. It's Evanescence. What other comic book movie was there Evanescence?
Daredevil?
Nope.
No? What do you mean no?
No.
Come on.
Whoa, Chris, I woke you up, man.
Or was that only in the trailer for Daredevil?
It was in the movie.
No, it was in the movie? Okay.
There's more than one Evanescence song in Daredevil. There's that one very
Yes, that is correct.
That one.
So you just what were you just messing with us?
Just messing with us, right?
Oh my god! Throwing us off. We're supposed to be supporting each other's.
You put that evil on us.
Supporting each other's.
No, I have to say this music does not fit the movie.
Well, that's probably why it's in the credits.
The first song in the credits was more of a really hard rock. That was definitely closer.
Lionsgate Films.
Lionsgate has grown a lot since this movie came out. Yeah. They were like kind of a mini studio. Now they're considered almost one of the majors after they've done a lot of big movies.
Are they not? They're probably owned by
the EuropaCorp now, aren't they?
I don't know. They might still be.
I think they still are.
EuropaCorp.
What? Yeah, but I mean, it's not owned by one of the major, like the original 6 major studios.
I was listening to you guys. I'm sorry.
I feel like everybody's owned by, Warner Brothers or 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
It's like looking at the trees under like what companies own everything in the world.
It's pretty crazy. Disney's at the top of probably a lot of it.
Yeah.
As far as entertainment goes.
Well, now that they're about to own Fox properties too, they're getting a lot of the Marvel characters back.
It's scary.
They're getting X-Men back, and they're getting the Fantastic Four back.
Yeah, well,
crazy.
And I think that's
but what does getting back mean?
Like, they're going to own the rights back to them, so if they want to make a movie on them or a TV show, they can... Well, actually, I'm not sure about TV. It's
they don't own the rights to Spider-Man yet, do they?
No, Sony owns the
Sony still has that.
They're never going to...
They cut a special deal for Homecoming and all the movies.
Sony, you're the last thing...
Well, they're not the last. Universal owns a couple.
And Fox still had theirs, it's just they bought Fox.
There's a reason.
That's all they got.
There's a reason we haven't seen a solo Hulk movie. Ironically, even though since the 2008 one, even though we've gotten solo from everyone else, that's because Universal owns Hulk. Marvel/Disney, they don't own Hulk too.
So they made a special deal with Hulk.
Hey, we were talking, things are like the entertainment law is pretty complicated, Chris. So it's like Marvel. It's so complicated to get the rights back out of a studio. Maybe Disney just was rich enough and thought it was easier. Just buy the whole studio rather than trying to go through all the contracts and the legality of taking the.
That's like Inception.
We'll just buy the whole
Inception
thing.
when Seido's like, "Oh, I just bought the whole airline."
Exactly.
Or like in Justice League when
was Bruce?
It's Bruce Wayne.
About the bank.
Yeah, they go, how'd you get the house back from the bank?
Oh.
because he buys Ken Topper. I just bought the bank. I'm sorry. I'm like, you have enough money just to buy the house. The bank, the bank's not going to sell you the house.
I say that, but like a studio buying another studio is a really complicated, and it has to be reviewed by the federal government, and it's very complicated.
Let's like a couple years. I think it's the Dark Knight, but it's where that version of Batman where he's in the restaurant, or maybe it was Begins, but he's like, I'm gonna buy the building. He just gives the waiter a check, and he's like, I got this.
That was in Batman Begins.
It was Batman Begins. Okay, yeah.
That was about
that sounds nice.
An hour and 12 minutes.
That's like Disney personified.
Well, I played.
I'm just kidding. Not Walt Disney, like the Disney company.
Right. I did $20 worth of Mega Millions tickets for the 700 mil, and I haven't looked up the winning numbers. So if I win and I essentially become as rich as Bruce Wayne, then I'll be able to buy a building. So we'll see.
Nice. Well, don't buy a building.
I'll buy a building.
Buy a Tumblr one.
Ryan will buy Instagram.
Ryan buys Instagram and makes Chad make one.
I'm gonna make Chad co-CEO if I do that.
Chad is the only caper
Instagram
without an Instagram
will go out of
profile.
business in 3 hours.
No, you buy his company that he works at, then you make him. Hey, you want to keep it? You better get Instagram.
You better get Instagram.
And if you don't, it's your own damn fault.
Forced social media slavery is what we're calling it.
Anyways, guys, we are at the end of this movie. It's been a great journey.
It has.
With you. It's a very different movie from what we've watched.
We didn't clap for that in the movie.
Oh.
Credits are done.
Yeah.
Tom Jane.
Credits are done, and we're still talking like always. Because that's who we are.
The credits weren't as long because there's not as many special effects, and there wasn't as much money.
A lot of practical stuff here, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty much. I don't know if there's any CGI.
Yeah. To me, I feel like it's all practical.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
The only CGI was probably the skull at the end with all the cars.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's probably
the part that turned Chad away from.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, well, thanks for following along and listening, and we love our capers out there.
Yeah.
And join us next time.
Follow us, subscribe.
Follow us. Hey, like some things. Like us.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Google Play, iTunes, everything. Spotify, YouTube. Is that YouTube?
Oh my God.
We're not on LinkedIn yet.
I don't know what we would need to be on LinkedIn for, but yeah, please listen to us and comment and talk to us and ask questions.
Yeah.
Interact.
And send those cosplay pictures. You got any Punisher cosplay out there? Let's see it.
Oh, that'd be nice, yeah.
Got any Thomas Jane pictures? Send them.
Sure.
Stick with the cosplay pictures. All right.
Okay.
Punisher.
All right.
Never mind. Cosplay in general.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh my God.
All right.
Capers.
All right. Peace out, capers.
Capers out.
Thank you, Black Hat.
Outro.
Oh yeah, Black Hat.